they cannot hear you. And I do want to let you all know, they will not hear you until your face is on the screen. What's going to happen real quick is I'm going to do a real quick introduction of Kenzo. And then what I'll do is I'll kick it to Kenzo. Kenzo's going to go ahead and say hi. He's going to do a little introduction of y'all. Kenzo, are you going to give them a chance to say hi? Is that the vital?
I'm going to give them each, a couple minutes just to like plug anything to explain who they are.
There you go. So everyone will get a chance at the top after to introduce yourself, talk about yourself, what you do, how people can find you, just spread the word about yourself. After that, Kenzo can have a little rant. I'm very excited. I have no idea what to
I'm only half
from his hell word.
Talking about
the hell word. I love the hell word. That cracks me up. And then at that point, we're going to go ahead and get to the topics. Each topic will have about 10 minutes. Now, previously, we gave everyone 2 minutes to talk. We've ditched that. But I do just sort of want to ask that we try not to interrupt each other too much. There will be time to do back and forth. However, just if someone's sort of going on, don't interrupt them. We don't want to turn this into, one of the debates that we saw previously.
Wait, no, what happened?
No, I mean literally the Trump debate. Like, it just makes you want to kill yourself.
Oh,
you know
okay.
What I mean?
I didn't know if somebody had died in a previous episode. By the way, for really quickly, for the sake of my audience, because we're live to over 1,000 people now, could you describe the podcast, please?
Oh, okay, great. Thanks, Vosh. This is the Pardon the Ignorance debate stream that we do weekly every 6 to 7 p.m., usually on the channel that, shall not be named, the platform that shall not be named. But this week we're doing it on YouTube to accommodate everyone, and very excited about it. Please like and subscribe. And what we do every week is I'll be honest, it's a ripoff of Pardon the Interruption, the sports show, but we're going to talk about shit that really matters, and we're going to have leftists on, and in the future, maybe some non-leftists as well, with diverging viewpoints. The way I like to put it is people are allowed to get a little ignorant here. So if you need to get a little loud, if you need to get in there, we're gonna struggle through it, and we're gonna come up with some good ideas out of this. This is a branch of the Class Time podcast that I do each week. And if you subscribe to my YouTube channel, you'll have all the information there, where I talk to big brain people like who do I have this week? Ben Burgess. I've had Sarah Nelson from the Flight Attendants Union, the president there. We talk politics. Sometimes we bullshit about punk rock. I had Jamie Peck and Jake Flores from.
Shout out to my homies.
Yeah, those are definitely Cole's friends and my friends as well, from the Antifada, Majority Report, and Pod Damn America. But once a week we do this, and I'm so happy to have your guy Vosh on here, known for debating, as well as I'll let everyone else introduce themselves.
Actually, hold on. I didn't realize we were doing that. Let me go ahead and introduce our end of it, and then and we'll go from there. All right, give me just one quick second.
Where's that
Here we go.
coming from, by the way? Is somebody fucking a water bottle?
Oh, sorry about the water bottle fucking.
Okay.
If you are not talking, I am going to try to ask that you try to mute yourselves. Okay, let's get going. Here we go. I'm going to intro the show. After that, we go to Kenzo. Kenzo's going to give you all a chance to talk, and then we'll go from there. Here we go. All right, and welcome to the Pardon the Ignorance show. It's the leftist debate show with attitude. Welcome to the Pardon the Ignorance. It's the leftist debate show with attitude, with your host Kenzo Shibata. Today's guests: Vosh, Cole James Cash, and Maria Guido. Hey, I'm Dan Simpson. I'm the means of production, or your producer for Pardon the Interruption. And here is your host, Kenzo Shibata.
Dan, thank you so much for the kind intro. And thank you, guests, for showing up and coming on. I know that we're going to have some fun here. I'm hoping to get lots of good memes, lots of good clips, and hopefully some good ideas to spread socialism to the masses. So let's all each take a couple minutes, plug away, as Harvey Firestein's SNL character, if y'all remember back then, would say, just, talk about what you're doing, what you're up to, any links that you want to talk about, bring up. And why don't we go ahead and start with Colt down in the corner there.
Hello, everyone. I'm Cole James Cash, formerly of Ghetto News Network. Means TV bought the show from me, and I'm signed to them as with a show in production with them. I how can I put this? I go out of my way to not have white fans. I'm mostly around to talk to a lot of blacks and Latinos, and it's not because I don't like white folks. It's because, like I told Ben Burgess on the show yesterday when I was on, it's like, yo, Ben, I let you talk to your folks. I talk to mine. And when we can meet in the middle, I can. You can, it's youtube.com. I think it's still youtube.com/Cole James Cash Show and patreon.com/Cole James Cash Show. I also, like my buddy Maria here, I spent 10 years working in a group home, and now I'm moonlighting at a homeless shelter, sort of. And I came on today because about a year ago, I had a quote unquote debate with Destiny, but I don't really do debates because I'm a really negative guy. As a guy who's been, actually, y'all know I've been shot twice, man. I grew up, I was an amateur boxer, etc. I approach things in a very aggressive manner. So, a lot of what Destiny is today, I called him on it and I let him know, man, in real life, this is not acceptable. And I came on not because I wanted to debate Bausch, but to explain to him that I'm not a quote unquote black nationalist. And the language I was using was actually in reference to my buddy Michael, rest in peace, who would use stuff like that all the time on the Majority Report. So I don't debate as much as I try to talk to people that are on my team, unless you're Amy Therese or one of them. But yeah, that's pretty much why I'm on here today. And just to, I don't punch left, man. So that's why I'm on here today. And I'm glad to be here with my buddies.
Okay. Vosh, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Vosh, pronounced Vosh, spelled Vosh. I do YouTube, mostly current events. I cover political events and pop culture, I suppose. Don't worry, I hate white people too, so it's okay. We've got nothing to argue about there. If it comes to links to shout out, though, by far and away the most that I want to shout out is you can go to www.vote.org, polling place locator, where you can find a place where you can vote for Biden. Okay, that's that's my shout out. We're on the cusp of a humiliation of the Republican Party. And frankly, at this point, there's blood in the air. I'm salivating. I just want to see all the mad MAGA hats on Reddit, on Twitter. I just want to laugh at them. At this point, it's just spite. And I'm really, really looking forward to it. So that's what I'm here for. And it is, of course, nice to be speaking with you, Cole. Seriously, I appreciate that.
All right. Great to see Vosh right out of the gates. And last but certainly not least, my friend, Maria Lynn is here. She is a social worker from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Can you talk a little bit about yourself, please?
Uh-oh.
You're muted.
Uh-oh.
My bad. All right, I'm Maria. I'm a social worker, obviously, but I do a lot of activism around juvenile justice and child welfare. So I'm on Twitter constantly bitching about different things, lack of funding, abuse that's going on in facilities nationally, all that good type of shit. So I don't really do anything like YouTube or podcast wise yet. I mean, yeah. I don't know.
We're talking about it. I'm pushing you.
Yeah. I'm going to do something.
I know Cole's in your ear too.
Yeah, I'm going to do something at some point. But yeah, no, I just really do a lot of stuff around juvenile justice. I have a expertise in trauma and attachment, juvenile offending. I used to do expert witness work for kids that were charged as adults. So the defense would call me in and I would do an evaluation, and basically I would state my case as to why the kid should stay in juvenile court as opposed to adults court. And that was fun for 5 years. And then I just was like, I can't do this shit anymore. I don't want to be like a good girl and watch what I have to say or anything like that. So that's why this is the perfect show for me, really. Yeah, I mean, because I'm very, very nice, but I guess I can be very intimidating. But yeah. Yeah,
Maria was actually on the first attempt at having this show in the summer when I didn't know what the hell I was doing, and I was just like trying to like have my Discord show up and on OBS, and it didn't work. Thankfully, I have Dan, and I have a little bit of skill on my end as well. So we're gonna sound good, and we're gonna be a little ignorant with it. So let's move on. So this is the segment we like to call Weekly Hell Worlds, because we're living in Hell World, and I'll keep it short and sweet. I'm just going to talk about one thing. I'm going to talk about the attempted kidnapping of the governor of Michigan. Of course, that's Gretchen Whitmer. I just have to big W, big T, big F, big exclamation point. Not to say that things like this don't happen. Of course, we have these acts of terrorism happening with Timothy McVeigh, the Boston bombing, but the thought that these folks had in their heads that by kidnapping the governor of of Michigan, they could create some sort of vanguard ruling class in there, and for white people, I don't know what the end game was there, but if it were one or two people, okay. But the WTF for me is the fact that this was a conspiracy. A bunch of people came together on this. A couple thoughts on there. People were calling this vanilla ISIS, and I'm not down with that because, let's face it, white people invented terrorism. Brown people didn't. This wasn't, a white version of something brown people started. This is terrorism continued. We've had rising fascism in this country for as long as we've had this country. Things are starting to come to a head. Regardless of how you feel about this election, you have to keep in mind that this is something we're going to have to fight. Whether we have Trump or we have Biden, we have, this group of angry, grievanced white people that are ready to start some shit. Whether that turns into a civil war, I don't know about that, but we also don't want to be part of whatever shit they do start. I guess we just have to remain vigilant and hope that our governors don't get kidnapped. That's my piece. That's Weekly Hell World right there. Let's just dive into the topics here.
Yeah, I just want to say that if I was the governor, I would simply not be kidnapped. That would be my response to that issue. Yeah, no, it's true though. I like your point, by the way, on the matter of vanilla ISIS, because I've always considered terrorists. They're like the brown gunpowder plotters. Exactly. Shift the discourse. In all seriousness, right now there are probably, no joke, hundreds of groups of people who are conspiring to commit some kind of act of terror in the United States. I mean, far-right groups, whether it be local state legislators, governors, whether it be bombing, an abortion clinic. And really, it's just a matter of time and sort of stochastic rolls of fate to determine which one of them's actually go through with it, which one of them's come close enough that the FBI stops them, that sort of thing. The FBI has long listed white nationalists as the greatest threat of domestic terror in this country. And this is one of the few instances in which I will agree with the FBI, shamefully. I will say, yes, all right, probably I agree with that. And yeah, we really need to do something about it. The Republican Party is complicit in enabling, through stochastic terrorism, all of this behavior. They're on the hook for it.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think that, when I saw the term vanilla ISIS, I was just like, wait a second. Terrorism was invented by white people. You know what I mean? And again, yeah, there's over 100 white, nationalist groups, I think, on the listed on Southern Poverty Law Center or whatever. But yeah, it's a huge problem. And I think that it's always been here. And, I think one of the things that really made me mad was people that would just be like, well, if you ignore them, you're giving them a platform, and that's the problem. If you just ignore it, it's going to go away. What do you mean? It's always been here, right? It's just starting to get worse because it's like we're in a pressure cooker. Everybody is just, somebody is going to explode at some point, right? But no, I definitely think that it's a definite fear. Yeah, I don't know.
The funny thing, if I can interject, the funny thing is that the opposite of that line of thinking is also completely incorrect. The idea that they'll go away if you ignore them, obviously that's stupid. You know, that's never worked. It doesn't work for bullies either, by the way. You know, they say that works like in school.
absolutely,
Fight.
yeah.
It doesn't work if you ignore. You can't ignore them like kicking you. You're obviously getting kicked. They love it. You know, that doesn't work. Only tactical nuclear strikes can solve childhood bullying. But with regards to the platforming thing, the opposite line the far right has been repping is that actually far right terrorism in America is a product of us not platforming them. Because when we platform them, when we give them, you know, the soapboxes to speak upon, we get to challenge their ideas and thus destroy them with our superior ideas, and they're no longer a problem. Whereas by suppressing them, we're actually making them angrier, keeping them operating underground. So they'll believe both of these things simultaneously, whichever one works better in the argument. But it's funny because both of these are equally stupid suggestions when it comes to this problem.
Cole, I'm interested in your thoughts on platforming while we're here.
Well, before I say anything, you know, I'm all, you know, the bottom line is this, and I always say this, that Reconstruction and the results of that is what this is, because Patrice O'Neal used to say that, like, you know, white folks go crazy over the slightest bit of discomfort in their lives. You know, that you know, they hide behind Ruby Ridge and Waco and things like that, whereas black people, as he said, Latinos, you know, formerly, you know, indigenous, now mixed with white through rape, should be doing a 9/11 every week if that's the case. You know, the fact is that you know, law enforcement is complicit, but the fact of the matter is, if we, you know, we should have executed every last one of them Confederate traitors, and we didn't. And so it really, to me, it goes back to that. Now, as far as platforming, yeah, you can do that, but then you get a guy like David Duke who knows how to talk to black folks, who knows how to. You're going to get people that know what they're doing. For me personally, and I'm not even like exaggerating or nothing, the solution I just said for the Confederacy, to me, is the only way you really put this stuff to an end. You know, otherwise it's to me, I'm sorry, I'm not going to, you know, waste my time even, you know, discussing it. It's like these people want me exterminated, you know, and they're willing to use whatever means to do so. If having people like the Proud Boys with some colored folks who are complicit in fascism makes it easier to get to their goal, then that's what they do. So for me, man, it's like, yo, man, these people want me dead. So, you know, I can only think of it in those terms.
Yeah, and it's hard for me to, you know, just to kind of piggyback off of Cole, you know, when people, you know, like to say, well, you just need to talk to them and teach them. You need to talk to them and teach them. Do you want me to do that before or after they beat the shit out of, you know what I mean? Like my friend, or they do this or they do that, you know what I mean? Like it at some point it doesn't work, right? So yeah, what do you do at that point? Because teaching that, you know, what am I going to do? Here, read, what the hell was that book, White Frailty or some shit?
Fragility.
Like fragility.
You don't keep tactical copies of White Fragility on you at all times at protests.
No,
you don't fling them out at people to protect yourself.
I must be a horrible social worker because I don't, but I should maybe, right? But no, I mean, like, what the fuck am I gonna do at that point? Like, what are we gonna do at that point? Like, oh, here's a book. Why don't you just beat the shit out of me with it? I mean, they are at, you know what I mean? Like, they're at a certain point where you can't. There is no, you know, it's delusional. It's delusion. Like, what are you, like, you can't, there's nothing that you can do at a certain point.
Gotcha.
I mean, that's just where I'm at. I mean, but
my whole platform is based around the idea that even very far gone people can be reached, usually not directly. You're never going to convince a person by arguing with them directly. But if you argue with their leaders, if you make their ideas look really dumb, if you present better ideas, you can change a lot of people's minds. But that has to be accompanied with the unfortunate fact that as long as some people have a soapbox to stand on, as long as some people have a platform, the violence they can inflict through their words is a natural you know, a downstream effect of them being allowed that power. And the question we need to arrive at then is, what means can we take advantage of to make our society more just and fair without, you know, invariably creating rules that can be used against us in the future. That's the tough part, you know? I don't believe everybody who's ever voted Republican should be beaten up in the street. I think that's ridiculous, of course, and largely impractical. And while I probably could beat up 150 million people on my own, you know, I don't want to, and it's not worth the time. But
You got streaming to do.
yeah, exactly. I've got streaming to do. I've been trying to get into cooking. What's more practical to me, however, is the thought that a lot of these people, even the most horrible, hateful people, are generally pretty scared and fearful and insecure. I mean, these white supremacist types, that's kind of been the root of their entire thought process forever. And I would love to see what a fully operational left propaganda machine is capable of doing. Because I feel like the right has had everything. They've had the mainstream media. They have all these like billionaire-backed grifters that push out monetized content on YouTube. They have this whole wave, and they're still about to get trounced in this election, which means I think genuinely our ideas are better. Even like the milquetoast version of our ideas, like Biden saying gay people are human. I mean, at least that idea, it's defensible. And I think with a fully functioning arm of left propagandizing, I think at a point violence might be completely unnecessary from either side.
All right. Well, I think this is a great segue to the topics at hand. First one we're going to talk about is the idea of class reductionism. And, you know, because we're talking about platforming, and actually the clip I'm using is actually you, Vosh, from one of your streams, because I think it's a good springboard to talk about this, because there is some discussion about whether or not we should engage with these thoughts.
Listen, I say a lot of shit on my streams, okay? I may or may not disavow what you're about to play, but go ahead.
I don't think that's the most natural reading of the article, but I'll give him the benefit of the doubt and leave him out here. Finally, the popular left-wing YouTube debater Vosh V has said this very recently.
Can you name some online class reductionists that are prominent? Oh, yeah, absolutely. Kyle Kalinske, Sauger's not a leftist, so fuck him. Jimmy Dore is an easy one.
That's
Kyle
right.
Kalinske flirts with that language pretty often, I would argue. Why did chat just freak out? Peter Coffin does that. Angie Speaks does that. Ashley Coffin does that to an extent. Who's the name of that one? Glenn Greenberg? Glenn Greenberg, right? Glenn, I'm pretty sure Glenn does this to a pretty significant extent. He's Greenwald. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. The Chapo Trap House boys do this to an extent. Dude, I need to like watch it again, but I'm pretty sure in the Chapo episodes, they've been getting a lot more class reductionist or like, I don't know, black-pilled? Yeah. Jimmy Dore and Angie Speaks aren't lefties at this point. Yeah. Peter Coffin's not a class reductionist. Listen, I'm really sorry. Look, okay, Peter Coffin has been nothing but kind to me, and I've been nothing but kind to Peter Coffin in direct interactions. I'm pretty confident that Peter Coffin's a class reductionist, and sometimes the takes they give are so bad it makes my heart ache. Okay, it gives me a fucking ulcer. Okay, listen. I'll have them on to talk at some point in the near future.
Okay, so I just thought that was a springboard to talk about the idea of class reductionism. Cole brought up, I mean, I'm not going to put words in his mouth, but we talked about some of the people that you also mentioned, Vosh. So just go have at it. Whoever wants to talk first. We've got 10 minutes.
Okay, can I contextualize that really quickly?
Of course.
Okay, that was a phone stream. I'm a boomer, okay? I was struggling. Look, the charitable way of phrasing that is, I feel like, first of all, I don't like this conflict between identity politics and material identity class politics. I don't think that's a real dichotomy. The effects of racism and sexism are every bit as materially oriented as the effects of class disparity. Certain societies have had sex and race be far more important to a person's social status than their material possessions, their relationship to means production. So my general point is, I feel like intersectionality is the way forward. Some people go way too hard into the identity and no class take. We call those people liberals, and we make fun of them everywhere on the left. And some people on the left kind of act like racism and sexism are just like kind of like fake after effects of capitalism, and that really capitalism's the real issue, and that otherwise everything's immaterial will disappear. And I think that's kind of dumb. But that's my main perspective there. Yeah. I've clarified. Oh, and I've talked with Kyle since. Kyle and I are cool. That too. Just so you guys know.
So, Cole, Maria, what do you guys think? Is class reductionism an issue on the left and an issue in on our platforms?
Let me go first, Maria. Let me say this. Class reductionism doesn't ring any bells when I walk around in East Oakland, where I'm from. This is an online thing. It's an intellectual thing. It's a Jacobin thing. No one cares about any of that. And the thing is, now, just for the sake of answering the question, when white people talk about identity politics, something I noticed with Kyle, like Kamala could do no right with him. There's a certain aura of I'm using a better term. You like Bernie. There we go. You like Bernie, but Kamala making faces or saying, "Hey, I'm speaking for me." I was like, "Yo, that's my mom right there." Kamala legit looks like my mom. No BS. So it's like I don't want when people of color have that discussion, it's like, "Yo, man, we can't just have people who are part of the system because the system will change you. You can't change it from within inside." But one thing, these like I said, the class reductionism, like I said, that takes place in the classroom. I always say it, man. People want a revolution, but the people fighting it don't care about Marx or any of that. They don't care what you call yourself. Yeah, I came up a leftist, literally. I don't very hardly know my dad, but my dad's a professor and he's far leftist. I was born into it, but through action, it doesn't matter what I call myself. It matters what I do. When you're going door to door trying to recruit people, they don't care about, intellectualism of the DSA. It's like, yo, this is what we can do. This is how we going to do it. You in or you not. And no one's looking at, well, we don't look to recruit the certain amounts of the this and that and the other. And, we're not trying to destroy liberalism. Like I said, I always say, man, those Jacobin articles, they're good for discussion, but they don't reach nobody, man. Felix is my man, too. But I've told him, man, you can't walk into a trap house and convert nobody. I can. It's like you can't remove who you are. The whitest thing you can do is remove color, because that becomes a status quo. And that's why, you said you're cool with Kyle. I always say this, man, Kyle reaches people that would otherwise be right wingers. But again, I let him do his thing, and I don't like punching left. But some of the takes that he has, like, yo, man, you're rubbing some black folks the wrong way. You're rubbing some people of color the wrong way. So all you can do is, we're supposed to be on the same team, so we talk to each other and we try to come to an understanding. But if you've been out on the street, like Kenzo has, remember Kenzo, we was talking about this, like, yo, man, it really don't matter. The people who are going to fight this thing don't give a damn about it.
Yeah, I agree with that completely. That's one of the issues, right? When you think of left-leaning online publication, you think of like 4,000 word articles and what Lenin would have had to say about corn dogs. And when you think right-leaning publication, you think of like the post-millennial 2-minute articles written at an 8th grade level about how Antifa is currently trying to rape your daughter.
Did you know?
Holy shit! Hello.
Ooh, that's a loud one. Thank you for subscribing.
I think it's funny because Cole and I just had a conversation about this actually not too long ago. I mean, like a couple days ago and I said something about it on Twitter actually. Like I was like, when it comes to like theory and talking about class reductionism and all of that, sometimes I just, it's like too much like in my face, right? But like Cole, like as a social worker, like I'm out. Not saying like I'm out in the streets, like I'm doing it. I'm not saying that at all. But like my experience, right? And all of my, like the reason that, I am on the left and I look at things, because I do think that there's a huge intersection of class and race. I don't think that everything is class. I don't think that everything would be, like racism is going to be solved by just completely destroying capitalism. I think that there's still going to have to be work there, right? And I do think that people miss that. But like Cole said, nobody is talking about class reductionism like on the streets or in the classrooms or in, meetings that I'm sitting in when we're talking about like, where are we going to place this kid? or, you know, how are we going to get money to put, you know, into this facility or whatever. So I really think that it's, like Cole said, it's a discussion and it's a discourse online. And while I understand it, at times it's not being discussed in the, I guess, quote unquote, like real world.
Yeah, my worry, I recognize the very online problem. Nobody has ever said class reductionism while not talking into a microphone. Ever. It's never actually been said outside of that context. The main issue that I have is, if we look back to Nazi Germany, one of the big myths that the Nazis sold to the population was the idea that civic prosperity relied on the ability for the nation to in a homogenous way, reject outside influences. And in that sense, what they essentially argued was that a functioning society, even a society with class justice, was one which had to be homogenous, you know, racially, ethnically, culturally. And my concern is there are going to be lefties who will start to say, maybe we could get class equality if we weren't so picky about the racism. And I worry about that downward slope. But I recognize that's more of a broad intellectual trend than it is like a practical, on the ground, convincing people sort of matter. And I see people making that argument too, and you know, I hate them. But it's more of a future issue than a recruiting tool today, you know.
All right, Dan. What we got next is vax or no vax?
Oh shit. Do we have any anti-vaxxers?
If the Trump administration approves a vaccine before or after the election, should Americans take it, and would you take it?
If the public health professionals, if Dr. Fauci, if the doctors tell us that we should take it, I'll be the first in line to take it. Absolutely. But if Donald Trump tells us that we should take it, I'm not taking it.
So, I mean, I guess the question here is, are you going to take the vaccine? Or, you know, if the vaccine is developed under the Trump administration?
I agree with proletarian Kamala over there. Champion of the proletariat, Kamala. Yeah, I don't. If Trump is like, hey, take it, it's good, then I'm not saying that shit. But there are medical professionals that I could trust, you know, like reasonably. I don't want to be conspiratorial about it, but like, let's be real here. Dude's clearly trying to rush out a vaccine before the election. Like, he's been trying to do this for months now. It's obviously supposed to be for a boost in the polls. It's not working out how he wanted it to, but if he ends up at like, I don't know, if it's like 2 days to the election and he starts shipping like jugs full of horse semen to hospitals everywhere to inject into people, like I don't know if I trust that, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see. If it's a real vaccine though, I want that. Yeah, absolutely. Give me that. I miss going outside.
Oh, you're muted, Maria.
But it's really polite of you to mute when you're not talking. Like, I haven't done that. I've just been trying to keep my mouth shut, you know?
But I probably should. It's pardon the ignorance, so I'm not going to mute this shit for the rest. Yeah, what the fuck? I ain't muting this shit. Okay. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm only taking the vaccine if it's tremendous, folks. Like, listen, if it's tremendous. No, but yeah, if Trump tells me to take a vaccine, I'm going to be like, fuck you talking about, dude? But if a medical professional, obviously, and the CDC and all those good people say, yeah, take it, then yeah, I'd like to relive my life. I really miss I know that this is, but I have to throw in like an obscure pop culture reference. But like, I used to go dancing once a month. It was like this funk and soul party, and they played like all 45s, and I miss that. I know that I sound like a little brat, but like, no, I miss that. So I would like a vaccine, but again, has to be professionals telling me. I'm not going to do whatever, you know, Trump. He's on drugs, dude.
Oh, he's high as a fucking kite right now.
He is high as a fucking kite.
He is beyond our realm. He is on cloud nine.
He is. And honestly, if that is the cure for COVID, that's kind of fucking dope. Like, if that's like a treatment for COVID, like say that he beats this and he's fine. But if that's a treatment for COVID that you get so high, it's kind of cool.
It was Molly the whole time.
You did 20 years.
Yeah, it was Molly the whole time, guys. Like,
nobody
everybody should have just been doing MDMA, and we avoided it.
They never thought to try it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
They say he's immune now, by the way. Trump's now immune. Maybe we could use his blood.
So, what I want to say is, first of all, it's a quick note, but I'm going to actually just say, talk about why I came on here, and it was to address Vouch, because I wanted to tell you. So, first of all, I've only been around like a year, and I honestly ascended pretty quickly, and now a lot of that is like, a big part of it is Michael, and then another part is Jamie taking me under her wing and mentoring me, and the reason why you had caught my radar is because me and Andre's very close to me. And you had characterized me as a black supremacist because I was making, jokes, but the thing is that I was trying to illustrate that, I was being funny, but I was trying to illustrate the point, man, that, there is no debating a hard ER and the discussion of it. That just don't happen. When you're dealing with the situation where you grow up, oh, hell yeah, I fought over that many a time, it's part of the reason why I had to start taking boxes, getting my ass kicked consistently. And, I remember talking to, like, I used to be sort of a part of the Left is Best, not the actual MR show, but like sort of that Twitter hashtag. And I sort of like almost fell into some, sort of group think. And then so like when people were ganging up on you, I was like, yeah, F that dude. I don't mess with him anyway. But like I said, I've definitely gotten away from that type of group think, especially since half of them can't stand me anyway. So it's like the same reasons that, let's say, people were saying that, oh, yeah, he's into pedophilia, et cetera, because it was some offhand comment you made. It's like I would rather come on and let you know that, no, I am not a black supremacist. As a black Latin, that's just not possible. There's no homogeny like that in Brazil. But with that said, it's like, yo, man, like, I'd rather come on and talk to you and let you know, like, hey, man, you do what you do as far as debating. You like my buddy, my friend Ben Burgess, But no, I absolutely, I do. I'm not a class reduction, obviously, but yeah, race is a social construct, blah, 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 this and that and the other, but it's a reality. And that reality, Destiny clearly does not see. So sometimes the only way to get him to see it is let him know, like, bro, in real life, this wouldn't happen. In real life, you wouldn't be talking to me like that. So stop fronting and stop playing, and like I that was what I was trying to do, because I approach every situation like I would in real life. I don't pop off on Twitter and this and that and the other, because if I say something, I mean it. I don't go around cursing folks out and this and that. I'm very subdued online and on my show. In real life, I'm a pretty wild dude. But that was the one time, man, like I went on a stream and my only intention was to let him know, if I see you still got that attitude, we're going to have a discussion about it. I don't mind coming up to nobody, as Kenzo and Maria, you guys know. I had to holler at Matt Christman when he came to Oakland to let him know, like, bro, y'all using that name and you don't show the hood no love. You don't show the hood no type of love. You get safe black folks and that's it. And then Felix took notice and we discussed it. We talked about it, That's the approach I like to have, because, man, you're doing some good things, man. And like, why do I want to spend my time being negative? It doesn't help anyone.
All right, so I'm going to assume that you're in on the vaccine if it's supported by the medical experts, but not if it's only being rep by Trump. Look,
yes,
I'll be perfectly honest with you. I've got a really bad memory. I don't remember all the details of the interaction that I was commenting on in the past. Generally speaking, and I stand by this regardless of the context, if you're coming on a debate or a panel and your contribution to a subject is to say that if you were to have that discussion in person, you would want to beat the other person up, that's not like an affirmative argument in favor of any position. That's just a sort of an indication of intolerance, however justified it may be, given the subject. But whatever the case may be, I don't remember the details firmly enough to concretely make any arguments about the actual underlying subject. If you're not a black supremacist, that's fantastic. I've had a lot of really weird interactions with people where it seems like they're all like, on one hand, it's like race is a social construct, decolonized, and that's great, And then they actually seem to hate white people, which is very weird to me. I guess I can understand why a person would. I just don't know if it's like the path forward. But it's led to me being a little bit suspicious of some groups on Twitter, especially. But yeah, no, apart from that, I mean, I'll take you at your word. I am also not a black supremacist. So you and I are, we are compatriots in that respect. I assume you are not a white supremacist. We also have that in common. Really, the list of things that you and I share, it's probably endless. But I appreciate you coming on and clearing that up with me. Really.
No problem. And real quick, like I said, I understand what you mean about, if I'm coming on debate stream, but I want you to know a lot of journalists and a lot of folks loved what I did. Because, that would make sense in the context of, an actual discussion. In real life, those discussions don't happen when you're using that type of word. It's nothing to discuss. And that's what I found hilarious about the idea we're even debating it. There's no place you can go where you can holler that out and cats ain't ready to throw hands. So while I agree when it's actual debate, ain't no debating the N-word, man. It's not.
In the 1950s, you could have said the same thing about interracial marriage, though, right? Like in the 1950s, you could say, like, I think that white women should be able to have sex with black men. You could get beat up for that. Quite a bit of the U.S., but that doesn't lend any weight to the actual morality of the issue. It's just a matter.
I get what you're saying, but I don't really debate like that, man. I'm quick to just do, I'm quick to take action. So it's like, in a way, you're right. I'm not built for all that. I ain't having no type of debate like that because that's not the world that I live in. That's not the world that I'm in. I understand within your frame of mind. I get that, man. And I know what you're saying, But man, like I just don't get the privilege of getting to discuss things in that manner. But regardless of anything, regardless of our agreement to disagree, whatever, I will never again fall into groupthink to where I'm going to judge somebody. And I don't know. We all know the same folks, man. We all know the same folks. You guys know the network I'm signed to. It's like, man, we're on the same team, man. And I unless you're a Nico House type, man, I just refuse to just be attacking folks all the time.
That's been part of my growth as a content creator as well. People do groupthink real fucking hard. It actually really damages your ability to understand what anybody's talking about. I have there are issues that I have 180'd on because I realized the only information I had on that issue was information that I was provided by other people with a bias, and that's because I trusted them, So I try not to do that. But anyway, apart from that, I'm happy to talk with you anytime in the future if you want to clarify anything or resolve any conflicts. Apart from that, we should probably announce to the host that we have collectively agreed Kamala Harris, champion of the proletariat, was correct on the vax issue.
All right. Yeah, I'm glad that we were able to have that conversation here. That's why I don't have too many rules, just 10 minutes and talk. So let's move on to the next thing. So election is right around the corner. I know people are moving on that. A lot of folks that said that they were going to for sure not vote for Biden. Some people are moving on it. So I just want to take a temperature check how everyone is. Are we riding with Biden? Is there either as individually or as a left?
Okay, so I'm just gonna speak individually. I am being dragged, and I have a gun to my head with Biden. That's how I feel. I'm not riding with him at all. Like, fuck any of that. Like, I hate him. I don't like her. But listen, I literally feel like I'm so fucked because I'm in Pennsylvania, right? If I was in any like a hardcore blue state, I'd be like, fuck this. And I'd write Bernie in just because, and I don't care what anybody says about, oh, it's just a protest vote. Blah, blah, blah. It's going to go blue anyways if it was, New York or whatever. But I'm in Pennsylvania, and my mother, who passed away in 2019, like, I know that she would be on my ass about, like, you just have to do it. You just have to do it. Please, please, please. And I know that there's going to be other leftists that are like, you're fucking selling out, whatever. I'm filling it out.
That's the easy road.
And that's it. And that's it. But it's not easy for me. Like, you have to understand.
They're the easy road. You're taking the hard way.
None of this is easy for me. And here's the thing, that I refuse to get out the vote for him. I refuse to sugarcoat or, pussyfoot around the fact that, like, this is terrible. I hate Biden. I don't hate Biden as a person, right? Because he's just kind of, goofy, whatever. I hate Biden because of the, 1994 crime bill. I don't like Kamala because of all of her issues that she's had when it comes to the California criminal justice system and juvenile justice system. But at the same time, it's like, what do I do? Like, do I think that anything's going to get better? No. Do I think that anything is going to change? No. Like, I'm literally, this is like, symbolic for me in a way, for my, here, mom, and then just whatever. So I'm not going to go out and pretend that like this is the best choice for everybody. Everybody's got to do what they got to do. I don't care if you write in Donald Duck. I don't give a shit. I really don't, because I'm spent. I'm spent. All I want to know is that if Biden's going to win, tell me what I need to do for, the crime bill 2.0 or whatever. So I can try to figure out what I need to do as a social worker. Because here's the thing, I don't vote for myself either. I vote for like the kids that I work with, that are kids that are on my caseload. And at the end of the day, I'm fucked either way. It's just really, what way do I have to go? That's really all it means to me. Both of them are going to fuck me either way. So I just have to figure out, how do I navigate it?
That's fair.
But if I get canceled by the left, I'm sorry,
No,
dude.
well, you're taking the hard road. The easy thing to do as an online leftist is to be Bernie or bust. Let's be perfectly real. I don't know. Wait, Cole,
I was Bernie or bust though in 2016. I'm never gonna lie about that.
That's fine.
I will never lie about that.
I know that because the reason that the entire online left community hates me is because I've been insistent that voting for Biden is a greater utilitarian good. But that's it. Like, you go in most lefty, the Facebook meme groups, Twitter, whatever, they despise me, and it's because I'm enthusiastic about the utilitarian calculus. I'm really excited. Not because of Biden and Kamala. I don't give a fuck about these people. I'm excited about the decay and the rot of the Republican Party, and more about the fact that increasing global temperatures are something that the liberals and the Democrats, the DNC, aren't going to be able to fix. People are going to get more and more disillusioned. People are going to get angry. People are going to get populist. And if the Republican Party is collapsing, that means it's easier for them to move left. That's what I'm hoping. I can't wait for all those thousands and millions of resistance libs to go, I thought Biden would fix this. And then they come to me. That's what I'm excited for.
See, but I disagree with you. I don't think that the Republican Party is necessarily like going to crumble. I think that the Democratic Party is crumbling. I think that it's been crumbling since 2016, even before that. I mean, maybe I'm just like a nihilist or whatever, but I'm disillusioned. I don't think that people are going to, I think my whole fear with like a Biden administration is people are just going to settle again. People are going to settle, and then the activists and the people that were out, you know what I mean? When a Democrat was in office, i.e. Obama, I don't have that hope. I don't have that hope that people are going to be like, oh, look at the DNC. They fucked up yet again. But that's just me. I mean, I think that there needs to be a push for something else. Again, and I'm not saying, do what you want on election day. Everybody has to make their choice, right? But I don't see the Democratic Party changing at all. I don't.
If I was a Democratic voter, I would simply be radicalized to the left, of course. Built different. That is what happened with me, actually. Cole, what about you? Where are you casting your votes?
Well, this is actually the last question I can answer because I have to go. But Vouch, I'm following you, bro. And you know what, man? Like, I would love to come on your platform because yours is obviously bigger than mine, and I need more Patreons. But for real, man, it would be great to talk to you. Maria, you're welcome on anytime. Kenzo, you already know what it is, man.
Mm-hmm.
But with that, Maria, I often see you get like really worked up sometimes, like on Twitter, because I've talked to you enough the last 6 months to know that you can be very emotional and very passionate.
Well, I'm Italian. I mean, what do you expect?
Hey, true.
The best thing I could tell you is that at the end of the day, Bernie, everyone else, Biden, et cetera, these people are all politicians, and politicians in order to, they're always going to disappoint you, man. So it's like the best you can do, best you can do is go, I always tell folks, go with your heart, man. Now for me, Sam Cedar, he said it best. He's like, yo, I'm voting for Biden, even though he's like, we've covered extensively Kamala this, Kamala that, Biden this, Biden that. He's like, but in order to get he's like, I'm in a blue state. He's like, in order to get the numbers up to make sure that there is no in between or whatever, that's why he's voting for Biden. And that actually was a convincing argument for me because I have a lot at stake. My kid's mom is not a citizen, etc. ICE, you know what I mean? Like they could holler at me for any reason. They hollered at Jake. Why wouldn't they get at me? So it's I did have David Grissom, Adam Hudson, and Jamie on my show to talk about, you know, what do we do if, you know, how should we vote, etc. Like just to you know, to reach regular people. And what I will say is Jamie said it best is that a vote for Biden slows down the fascism that's already on its way. And I am in complete agreement with that. I'm also in agreement with my boy Adam and David Grissom that, you know what, the Democrats are in all honesty, the enemy of the people because, you know, they're, you know, sort of complacent and they, you know, they don't. One hilarious thing about the Democrat Party, one thing I like the Republicans do is that everyone's on the same page and they make people feel welcome, man. When we have radical ideas, it's pushed aside. They're like QAnon. Yeah, right. What the Q, man? Where we go? They make everybody feel like they belong.
True.
And also, sorry, Cole, but also too, like, and again, I cannot stand the Republicans. I hate them. I will never vote Republican, whatever. But at least they like will say to our face, like, I don't give a shit about you. You know what I mean? Like they'll literally like be like, here, I don't give a shit about you, and this is what I'm gonna put out. Whereas like the thing that pisses me off about the Democrats is like they will like give you little, it's like giving us little pieces of candy that really do fucking nothing. And that's what pisses me off. I mean, look, I'm so emotional. And again, you're absolutely right. Like no politician is gonna save us at all. None. And we just, I think, have to do what we can do, you know, for our own communities and what we, you know, are able to give out.
Oh yeah, well, yeah. The idea that a political party is singly capable of fixing our problems is ludicrous. Of course, I don't think any leftist would unironically defend that point. They can make it easier for us, though. You know, would I rather be a leftist in a country where being leftist is legal or illegal? Well, obviously, I'd like to, you know, maintain my civil rights. Is Antifa a terrorist organization or not? Am I associated with Antifa? Well, I don't know. It really depends on how you define associated with. There are a lot of ways that people who have control of the legal system can fuck with the ability of their political opponents to do what they do. And the Democrats, credit to them, are morons. They are very bad at wielding power. The most they can do to disappoint the left is just not do the things we want them to do, and occasionally, you know, performatively signal that they're not socialists. They're not that good at shutting us down. Republicans, on the other hand, you know, they're a little bit better at it. They recognize their real enemies. Democrats are weak, complacent, stupid career politicians. They're bureaucrats. They have no hearts, no souls. But you get a couple of good ones in there. I think AOC is pretty good, as you know, as good goes. Radicalize more people. Bernie Sanders radicalized millions with his run. And I think that, if nothing else, they're a good vehicle that we can exploit. Something, a host we can parasite infect to disseminate our values effectively in a way the Republican Party openly accepts. Because the Republican Party will work with neo-Nazis happily, you know. Like you said, you know, you can be a neo-Nazi, you can go up to the Republican Party, be like, hey, I fucking hate Jewish people and like everybody, basically. Can I run your organizations? And they'll say, well, we do have some Jewish people we work with. You're okay with that as you are a Nazi, right? And they'll be like, yeah, sure, cool, just give me power. And they do it. It works. Yeah, Charlie Kirk has tons of white supremacists in his organization. Fucking PragerU. Prager's a Jew. But Ben Shapiro's job is defending white supremacists, and the guy's Jewish, you know? They're crazy about that. They're very inclusive. The Republican Party, very inclusive.
Yep. And let's move on to the next topic here.
Not to interrupt you, Kenzo, but I do have to go, guys. It's nice talking with you guys.
Bye, Cole.
Thanks for logging on.
And Kenzo, I'm out at you, man.
All right, take care. The next one, SNL. Why don't we talk about this?
No.
This ruffled a lot of feathers. Let's dig into this. Dan, can you play the clip, please?
Plowing ahead. Let's talk white women here, shall we? Let's talk white women. White women, you're amazing your accomplishments over the last few years. I got to tell you, the way white women somehow hijacked the woke movement, Generals around the world should be analyzing this. Just to refresh your memory, the woke movement was supposed to be about people of color not getting opportunities, the at-bats that they deserved, finally making that happen. And it was about that for about 8 seconds. And then somehow, white women swung their Gucci-booted feet over the fence of oppression and stuck themselves at the front of the line. I don't know how they did it. I've never heard so much complaining in my life from white women. My life is so hard with my SUV and my heated seats. You have no idea what it's like to be me. Trash and white guys, the nerve. Where's the camera? The nerve of you white women. Listen, I don't want to speak ill of my bitches here, okay? I don't. But let's go back in history here, okay? You guys stood by us toxic white males through centuries of our crimes against humanity. You rolled around in the blood money, and occasionally when you wanted to sneak off and hook up with a black dude, if you got caught, you said it wasn't consensual. Yeah, that's what you did. That's what you did. So why don't you shut up, sit down next to me, and take your talking to. Thank you. So,
I can tell from my chat's reaction that yes, this is indeed a divisive clip. Yeah.
They're going wild. I'm looking at your chat now too.
They're losing it. Yeah, as a white man, I would say honestly, things have been too rough for us. We can work on that. You know, we're getting bullied too hard on social media. We need to do something about it. In all seriousness, though, there actually is a point here. I've made this point before. I don't know why my chat's forgetting that this is a real point. But the weaponization of white female fragility is a real thing that's been used for centuries, really, to uphold white supremacy. So when he made that joke there about, pretending it's not consensual with a black guy, it wasn't him saying no white woman's ever been raped by a black guy. That was him saying that historically, that's like a nuclear button that white women have always had. That's totally true. We all remember that thing from Central Park where the black guy was walking around and he was recording and there was a white woman saying that he was like attacking her. Remember that? I forget the name of the actors involved there.
Chris and they had the same name. Chris and Amy Cooper.
Amy. Yeah. And anyway, yeah. So, and we recognize it then. As for whether or not Bill Burr's delivery is funny, I don't know. I've never been a fan of Bill Burr personally. There are a couple of skits of his that I like. But at the end of the day, is this really an issue? I'm actually asking. It's not rhetorical. Is this an issue with white women like fucking up BLM or something like that? Because I assume that's the woke movement we're referring to here. I guess white people in general probably are fucking it up in some way, but women specifically, if so, how? I'm interested. What do you think?
As a white woman, yes, I do think that white women have hijacked the Black Lives Matter movement. I do. I mean, you see it all the time on Twitter, like all of these like white women speaking for black women, right? And look, I'm never going to pretend that I'm a perfect ally because I'm not. You can't be a perfect ally, right? As a white person, you just can't. But I mean, I was guilty of that, like in the very beginning, I guess, of like my wokeness, speaking for black people. And yeah, they've just completely hijacked it because now it's like they've just completely ignored why it started. You know what I mean? Why it started, because the Black Lives Matter movement did not start under Trump at all. It started under Obama. You know what I mean? Like,
it was an anti-black movement to begin with.
Well,
no, that was a joke. Sorry.
Yeah, but no, I mean, it started in Baltimore when Freddie Gray was killed. You know what I mean? Like, this has been going on for centuries, right? It's just going on in different forms, and now it's the police killing black men. But this has been going on forever, and the things that Black Lives Matter, you know what I mean, in the very beginning, that whole concept, right? We're asking for, it's just all been watered down. I mean, look at what the, 8 Can't Wait movement that D-Ray did. Was that what it was called?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It was like
with the defund the police. All of that shit they should have been doing anyways. So how the hell is that movement? So I do think that, you know, white women have kind of hijacked this movement and they've tried to make it, you know, about them, and they've watered down a lot of these issues that have come up.
It's important to remember, though, that when it comes to the policy proposals that come out of Black Lives Matter, the majority of black people want police. The majority of black people are liberal, you know, Democrat voters who want milquetoast Biden-esque reforms, as demonstrated by their voting tendencies back during the primaries. It's generally been the more radical left element that's been pushing the defund the police stuff. Now, the leaders of the Black Lives Matter movement are leftists, and they're all big on the decolonialization, the abolishing the concept of only one correct type of family, anti-capitalism, fantastic. But when it comes to most of the people protesting, I feel like the milquetoast reforms are what they're asking for. And it's our responsibility, not as white women, I mean, just in general, I guess, to sort of gesture that there are more radical ways of going about this, you know, hijacking it, pretending that the entire Black Lives Matter movement is about defunding the police or whatever, I think is at times a bit irresponsible, because I think in that case we are speaking over the less radical black majority of the movement, you know?
And what I understand that, I think that even this goes to the issue of just the whole defund the police movement, because we need to be more explicit about what defunding the police really means and where that money needs to go, and where that money needs to go, what systems, because at the end of the day, a system has to be in place, right? So what system is going to be the least harmful, and what system is going to actually help people and do a lot of that stuff. So I think that we even have an issue with that. We need to be more explicit with that. But I don't think that I hate to go back to that like 8 can't wait, thing. But again, these things should have been in place for years. And what pisses me off is that people are fighting for this right like now. They haven't been fighting for it when they should have. And it's like they're just going to get complacent. You know what I mean? Like that's.
Do you think that defund the police was kind of a fucking stupid slogan to begin with? Because everyone hears like no police, which is obviously not going to function, but maybe something like fund the community or like rebuild the community or something like that, because you don't want the money to just go away. You want it to go to these.
So I don't think it. I think if we called it like rebuild the community or refund the community, it's watering it down. We need to be explicit, because where does the problem lie? Law enforcement.
What would you replace it with?
You have to be. There's a lot of things that you can replace it with. I mean, come on. And everyone's going to be like, oh, what are you going to say, social worker? Yeah, put more money into social services, because a lot of these issues can be dealt with social services. All of the mental health issues. And I say this all the time, and Kenzo knows this. The police, when I have to like respond to a crisis, right? When my clients are in crisis, the police make my job so much worse. That's why I tell my clients, don't call the police unless you are like bleeding or they've overdosed. Then you call 911. No, call me. I will be out there. Somebody on call will be out, because they make my job so much worse.
For sure. But that's not defunding the police. That's funding the civic structure. That's funding society.
But if you take money out of the police department, right, and you defund that and you put that in the Department of Human Services or whatever, it's still defunding the police.
Oh,
so
sure.
I don't think that it's a stupid slogan. I think that it still needs to be that. I don't think that it should be like rebuilding the community. But I do think that we need to be explicit in the sense of where is that money going to go, and what is the system that's going to replace it going to look like.
That's the thing people don't talk about. See, people talk about defund the police. When people have these discussions, none of these people are talking about refunding civic services or refunding social workers. People talk about defund the police as a binary. You either have police or you don't. I don't think the slogan does a great job of indicating to people the actual goals of people interested in defunding the police.
See,
it's not the sentiment I'm against, by the way. I don't want any fucking cops, but it's a matter of introducing these ideas to people in the way that...
Right. And I get that, but I don't know if I would agree that like there's leftists that are like one or the other. Like leftists, a lot of leftists have said more social workers, more money to social services. Like they have mentioned that. The thing is that, again, they don't know how to do it. That is where people that do know, what the issues are. I mean, because it's going to be a thing that critically needs looked at. And look, these things have been looked at for years, right? It's listening to the experts. You know what I mean? But I do think that people do know that there needs to be something in place. Now, you have reactionary leftists that are just like, fuck it, fuck the police, and they don't, you know what I mean? That's where they stand. Cool, yeah, I fucking hate the police. You know what I mean? I hate them too. But again, I do also know that there needs to be some plan put in place.
Yeah, sure. I just don't think that gets discussed anywhere. Lefties know what we're talking about, but the game isn't with lefties. It's about convincing the normies, right? The hundreds of millions of liberals. To them, defund just means destroy or dismantle, and then you have Biden and Trump competing with each other as to who's going to fund the police more, because now defunding the police is like an optics red badge he has to avoid because the majority of liberals don't understand what it means. And I don't know, it's a really tough position. The problem is that cops, despite being objectively terrible, are a highly venerated profession in our country, which means that any attack on the police, even from a funding perspective, comes off really, really radical, whereas Americans will laugh and cheer as we take billions from educational institutions. We don't even need to sell that, baby. Like, that's easy.
And the thing that sucks too is that, like, look, I know people that are police officers that I would say, and I always say, like, I don't understand why you're police, da, 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 da. They're not like, but I also like hear things of what, like, it makes sense as to why police do the things that they do. And it comes down to a lot of capitalist, economic shit. These police officers are made to work 16 hours a day, or put on like 16 hours, 7 days a week. People are going to crack. And again, that's not an excuse as to say like, oh, give the police, a break. Like, what I'm trying to say is that it's just a whole circle. Everything connects, right? But, am I making sense?
Yeah. I think so. Okay. I think what we can agree on is we should have one cop fully militarized for the entire country. He gets one armored vehicle, and it's the whole country. And that way we preserve the police and their militarization. We pour all the funding into that one guy, but the majority of the country at any given point in time doesn't have to worry about them, and they get the social workers.
Everybody wins.
Yeah, a RoboCop situation, yeah.
Yeah, but I would like to be like a robo social worker. Like, I think that would be like super fucking dope.
Oh, that's fucking radical. Are you kidding me? Yeah, absolutely. Hey, and then if you were tossing out little white fragility books at protests, probably would be lethal. You would be able to defend yourself with your robo arms.
I don't know if I want to. I can't tell the story yet, but it's about a judge giving out Ben Carson books to.
Oh my God.
Adolescents.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
A judge?
Yeah. So this judge, right?
Should be disbarred for that automatically.
No. Listen, it was all in the paper and everything. He was giving out, the book like Think by Ben Carson. It's like, and each letter stands for something, right? So this judge, and I'm not going to name him, all right, because I'm already pregnant. I don't know. But anyways, so this judge was giving out this book to kids, or not like kids, like young adults, like, well, kids, young adults, like, so like 15 to 22, and being like, I want you to read this while you're in jail, and then when you come back for your preliminary, like, we'll talk and blah, 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 blah. So like he was giving people, like kids, like book reports basically to read this Ben Carson book. Yeah. So I started like having my kids that were like, on a Act 33. I'm like, hey, did the judge give you the book? Like, and I knew, knowing this book was so fucking stupid, and it's Ben Carson, and I'm just like, oh my God. But then thinking, all right. I'd be like, did you read the book? I didn't read the book yet. I'm like, listen, read the book. I need you to do a book report, okay? And then we're going to present it to the court, And every time we did that, he loved it, dude. He loved it. And I think it was just because he got to say that, Ben Carson and him actually talked about this. And he would say this on record just to say, you know, Ben Carson and I, you know, he actually found out that I was doing this and he touched base with me and we said, you know, this book's going to save a lot of kids' lives. Like that is the fucking just ridiculousness that occurs.
It makes sense. I remember back when I was a TA and I had unpatriotic students, I would hand them a copy of Ben Shapiro's True Allegiance and ask them to write me a book report. They would always deliver it to me in an origami fold of an American eagle while tears poured down their face, you know?
And they all got A's.
And they all got
A's.
They all got
I
A's.
was like,
For everything from then on, because they've read Ben Shapiro, you know, of course, obviously. They have the tools they need to win these battles. So,
listen,
sorry, we got sidetracked there.
So we went way off track.
Let's wrap up though. We got one more topic at hand. I call it posters ethics. Do we as posters have any kind of code that we should follow, or is it, you know, winner take all? What would you propose a poster's code of ethics look like if you agree with that idea at all?
I have subscribed to a monastic pledge known as the Cum Pledge, okay? It's for me and me alone, but other people can take it as well, okay? C stands for don't argue with leftists. U stands for get more sleep. And M, I forget what M stands for right now, but I'm sure chat will remind me. And with this, I have found my online content. Don't get mad online. That's it. That's M. And and with this, I have found that my content is infinitely better. In all seriousness, though, a lot of this is an issue with the entire internet, but the lefties do this worse than anything else. Infighting. Fuck me, the infighting. That's what I took the Cum Pledge to try and stop. I still infight. What are you going to do? But man, oh man, listen, conservatives are amazing at this. Whether you're like a milquetoast, you know, like classical liberal styled conservative or a neo-Nazi, conservatives don't argue with conservatives online. They don't do it. They never do it. They don't infight. Very rarely do they do this. And the reason for that is because they all recognize they're part of a pipeline. All of them pretend they're as far right as you can get, but they all serve as an entry point to the next tier. And you go from classical liberal to nationalist to white supremacist to white nationalist to neo-Nazi or however the fuck that pipeline works. And it works for them beautifully. There are so many people who 5 years ago were jerking off to anime porn and now are neo-Nazis and still jerk off to anime porn.
I was going to say those aren't mutually exclusive.
Yeah. Just I want to clarify they've kept that. But the left doesn't do this. The left infights like crazy. There are so many little sectarian groups. They're fighting all the time. Oh, this is base. This is epic. Whatever. I think we all need to recognize our responsibility as public figures is ultimately to serve the public good. And part of doing that is not being a cunt online who incessantly infights with other lefties to build a brand. I recognize that could also be used to impugn me. I've been working on that, but I stand by it. I believe that's a real issue with the left.
I don't know. It's funny to me that, like, you know, just being in this discourse, like posters, like, do we have, because I kind of went on Twitter like last year just to kind of like fuck around. So I never thought like about like ethics. And I always say that like, either like I'm not important enough like in the leftist posters world to be like infighting, or like people do say crazy shit about me, but I'm just like stoned and it goes like over my head. So like to me, I don't know, like I go on Twitter a lot to kind of like fuck around, right? Like I'll like post music and I'll just, it's kind of basically me. It would be like me talking to my friends, right? I'd be like, oh, dude, remember that song Too Short, Getting It? And then like I'll post it, or I'll be like, look at this stupid asshole. Like, so posters ethics, I mean, I don't know. I guess like, yeah, don't be like, I guess don't take it too seriously. I got it. It is hard to do, right? Because especially because like, let's face it, when you are a poster and you have people following you and you have people liking what you're saying, you know what I mean? It is addicting, right? Like it's just something human nature that we all do. But look, dude, get outside. Oh shit, my hair looks really crazy there. But like, get outside once in a while, yeah. Don't take yourself too seriously either. Like, we only have one life to live. And look, everybody has said like extremely dumb things online. And sometimes, like I say dumb shit all the time. Dumb shit. You're lucky if you're gonna get like 3 good takes from me, I think, a week. A lot of it is like just like the rest is like brain dead posts and being like I talk about Flavor of Love a lot. I talk about like how I have a crush on Felix from Chapo, but I'll never tell him online.
Do you want me to tell him for you?
Well, I guess that he knows now. Hey.
Yeah, there you go.
No, but I just like talk like, you know what I mean? So I guess that, yeah, just don't be a dick. Don't take it too seriously. I think that everybody online and everybody in the discourse does have important things to say, right? But, and even look, I even get, you know, when it comes to like juvenile justice stuff, I get like all my soapbox and I'll be like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. But like, I'll get real, you know, shitty with it. But get up, take a walk, go outside, just take a breath, dude. It ain't really that serious. Like when it comes down to it all, it ain't that serious.
I've never said anything dumb online. My advice, the opposite. It's extremely serious. Don't go outside. Every person you convince on Twitter is a life saved.
Fuck, wear a mask. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Wait, online or like when you go outside?
No, if you go outside. That was really irresponsible of me. If you go outside and you're around other people, wear a mask. That was not responsible of me to tell people not to wear a mask during a pandemic. I apologize.
It's also traditional
to
wear a mask if you're posting femboy lewds online. Just seems to have caught on in that community, but presumably they do it to protect their femboy lewd identity. I can only assume it's like a Batman situation.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Bosch, speaking of not taking yourself too seriously online, when the Tacoma wept meme was going real big. And first of all, thank you, because that was hilarious. I got you on that.
Goddamn right.
I thought you were hilarious. Other people were like, oh, look at this guy. But like, I saw what you were doing there. So I changed my screen name to that. What happened there, though, I have a friend that I guess is originally from Tacoma and she's got a lot of family out there. She didn't know about the meme. So she DMs me and she's like, oh my God, did something bad happen?
Depending on who you ask,
and explain all of it and send her all the links to the video.
The associated, dude, that drama irritated me so much because I thought I was funny as fuck when in the initial clip, because I'm clearly making fun of myself here.
Yes.
But then that's my tragedy online. I mean, half of what I do when I stream is comedy. If anyone's watched a video of my mind, it's not like dry analysis. Like I make jokes all the time. So when I'm like, oh yeah, bro, that's what I miss, getting out there and just fucking every human being in a 20-mile radius, and I'm clearly making a joke, but then people take it and they're like, oh my God, he's serious, he actually thinks he's like that. And it's like am I not funny, or are they that uncharitable? You know, it hurts. But anyway, I stand by all that. I take it back, it wasn't a joke, it's totally serious. Tacoma wept, so on and so forth.
Yeah, I think that sometimes people do take me like super serious online, like, because sometimes I will just say like outrageous shit like about like sex and drugs, and that was the old me. The new me is a
What's
loser.
the new me like?
No, I just smoke pot and forget to text people back and no love life, and yeah.
Oh, okay, so it's the quarantine you. Gotcha. Yeah.
The quarantine.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even before that, like I just chill, man, with my friends and shit. Like, but yeah, I mean, but no, I mean, I don't know. Twitter it's fun, but I do think that people just, I don't know. I will tell you though that Amy Therese, the only time I get mad at her is when, well, no, I don't care for her at all, but I got really fucking pissed off at her because she was arguing, I forget who she was arguing with, but she used an NXS song, right? And I'm like, I was pissed. Don't do that shit. Michael Hutchins, okay, to me, I love him. And that fucking pissed me off. So don't use a Michael Hutchins or any NXS, no.
All right, so thank you both so much, Vosh. and Maria for coming on and doing the melee on the stream. I'd like to have you both on again sometime. You're both excellent, amazing guests.
Thanks for having us.
Again, since if people are just tuning in now, can you each plug what you want to plug?
Oh yeah, I'm Vosh, spelled Vosh, pronounced Vosh, and don't view my content, because if you do, now I'm doing this thing where I tell you to subscribe during my streams. I can tell it's pissing off my followers, but it does boost the algorithm, so I'm gonna keep doing it. So I'm just warning you ahead of time, okay?
Maria?
Right now I am just follow me on Twitter, but I will tell you I'm working on so that whole troubled teen industry stuff with Paris Hilton. I've been working on that for I've done research on that for years, right? So check out that breaking code silence thing, because the troubled teen industry, that's one of the worst fucking form of capital. It's crazy. And also I am working on shutting down this spot. It's Sequel Youth Services. So I talk about a lot of that shit on Twitter. They own a bunch of these facilities, and there's a bunch of abuse cases throughout all of these facilities. This kid, Frederick, he died at this place, Lakeside in Michigan. They are closing down. So, I've been fucking around with that. So I'm trying to get that stuff all organized so I have something, so I can be go to .com or whatever. But I don't have that yet, so I guess just follow me on Twitter.
What's your @ by the way, so I can post it in chat?
Oh, Sandernista 412. Get it? Because it's Sandernista. Dun, dun, yeah. So.
Oh, and
it's 412. So yeah.
While we're here, folks on Vosh's stream, you can also follow me on follow my the podcast account at ClassTimePod.
I'm typing.
I appreciate that so much, and thank you all so much. I'm doing a post debate. I won't be on it, but there's gonna be I will be on it at some point. But we're doing a post debate wrap up on the Twitch channel, and you should also check out Vosh's channel. And I know he's talking about Tim Pool later. That's always fun.
Yeah, that's a good one. I'm very not. So I can announce this publicly. I'm extremely not mad that he didn't invite me to come talk to him in his studio, despite me asking to and him inviting other people. I'm not mad. So if you see anyone who says I'm mad, tell them I'm not. Okay? So it's known.
All right. Well, thank you both so much, and have a great night.
Yeah, of course. Have a wonderful time. Thank you.
All right, take care. It's great meeting you both. Great meeting you, Vosh, and great seeing you, Maria.
Of course.
Great seeing you as always.
Have a good one.
See you guys.
Nice. Go team. That was why does my camera keep I need to get Whoa, why did it do that? Oh god. Why is it zoomed in? This is like an episode of The Office. We're doing the shaky cam. Oh god, hello. Whoa. Okay, we're good. Why is it shaky camming? What the fuck? Stop! Okay, that's not right. Okay, now this is like a Kubrick angle. Okay. Go team, I think. Kind of. Little bit. Can you fucking chill? Holy fuck. Okay. Wowza. All right. Yeah, I need to get a better arm. I have an old, Is it still bobbing? What the fuck? Stop! Okay. We need you to fucking chill for 1 minute. Is that chill? I don't even know. I don't even know if that's chill. That was a wacky conversation. I can't believe Cole came on there like to confront me. Hello. How we doing? We have to talk about Tim Pool. I'll catch up in donos beforehand. Yeah. He did the same with Destiny. Yeah, well. We can talk later if he wants to talk. The timestamp got deleted. I have no idea why that would be, JBZ. Yeah, anyway, I try to talk to other human beings sometimes. You guys say awkward, but you know what? Frankly, you're projecting. I never feel awkward in any situations like that. Listen, the key to A, never feeling awkward, and B, never being awkward is to stop thinking so much about how other people are perceiving your interactions with other people, okay? Just fucking chill, all right? Holy shit. If there's gaps, if there's silence, whatever. There's silence. That's it. It's that simple. Okay. If people take a sec to respond or there's a weird gap, it doesn't matter to me. What do you? You just, when Cole kept talking about the thing that wasn't relevant to the actual question, it felt like, oh, awkward. Whatever. He's doing it. I'm here. Hello. I'm good. What is this Trump tweet? Whoa. Hello. Joe Biden is a puppet of Castro Chavistas like Crazy Bernie, AOC, and Castro lover Karen Bass. Biden is supported by socialist Gustavo Petro, a major loser and former M19 guerrilla leader. Biden is weak on socialism and will betray Colombia. I stand with you. Okay. Man, he is so far beyond. Holy fuck. Jesus Christ. He'll betray Colombia? I don't know. I'm actually asking. Guys, remember when the literal actual Taliban endorsed Trump? That was cool. That was cool when that happened. Anyway, let's hold on, let me change the title really quick. I'm going to read the donations, and then we'll get to Tim Pool. Don't worry, there aren't that many donations because you guys don't love me and don't want to see me succeed. I know. I know how it goes. They rejected it, though. It doesn't matter. The endorsement's the endorsement. All right, hold on. Horrors Me with a very kind $2. Thank you. Table Knife, Ego47, Das the 2, and Mythaldu. Thank you very much for the gifted tier 1 subs. I love you in a personal manner. Thank you. I will switch to this so you guys don't have to experience Trump copium anymore. Edward Yackel with the $5. I figured it out. Biden is a malarxist. True. Mr. Egg Sauce, the 2 Canadian. Got any good theory audiobook recommendations? I mean, probably just State and Revolution, right? I don't fucking know. I haven't listened to enough audio theory books. Yeah, my streams. Thank you. Thank you very much. Needless Noise with the incredibly kind $10. Thank you very, very much. That article about Facebook you tweeted isn't just bad because it's actually about end-to-end encryption. It's also inaccurate. It only talks about the cases they report. Facebook is actually better than Reddit or YouTube. They actually report it instead of sweeping it under the rug. All right, gotcha, Needless Noise. Thank you for not confirming my priors. I'll consider your arguments. Comrade Retur, thanks the gift. Oh no, except AJ with the gifted tier 1 sub. Thank you, Mr. Egg Sauce, the 5 Canadian. Thank you. Yeah, I did expect there to be more debating in that the Pardon the Ignorance podcast. I will admit, not that I mind the departure from that. You know, yeah. I like how the stream is just titled Tim Pool. Yeah, I'm lazy as fuck. Yeah, mostly a pretty chill discussion, I'd say. But that's fine, people. That's okay. That's all right. Seas of Cheese, the very kind $10. Had the southern states been allowed to secede, would the resulting Confederate States of America been a fascist government? It's difficult to really say that because the material conditions necessary for fascism don't really develop until the adoption of certain technologies and industrialization that wasn't present in the South at the time. So it's hard to say, but in all likelihood, I imagine that eventually a society based on racial supremacy would have developed into a fascist state. I imagine, yeah. Pantran, Marks fan, Huffy, thank you both so much for the tier 1 subs. Glad to see you're back, Pantran, Marks fan. Quiznotch, the tier 2 sub, thank you very, very much. For Lath with the tier 3 sub. Hey Vosh, what'd you major in? Sociology. And what would you recommend someone looking to get into political commentary go with the same major? Also, trans rights. Well, sociology is easy. It gives you pretty much all the tools you need to get into political commentary. But in terms of getting into political commentary itself, that's kind of hard, you know? It can be kind of a luck-based thing at times. But yeah, no, I mean, I think sociology definitely gives you a good backing for that. Rockstar Scola's the $5. Please work on your public image, bro. I'm tired of opening up Twitter and being flooded with nothing but MLs hating on you because of old beef. Yeah, well, what are you going to do? That's what I adopted the Cum Pledge for. But to be perfectly honest, the delusional fucking VDS cases who do nothing but talk about me all day and how I'm a counter-revolutionary, rad-lib, pedophile, whatever, those people, whew, I don't know. Yeah, Zan, you've been drawing a lot of the heat as well. Quiznotch, the $5. When you were messing with the camera, it felt like you were holding my face with your strong, meaty hands. Thank you, Quiznotch. Duly noted. Miranda writes left with the $10. 2 silver linings to a plot being thwarted beforehand. 1, no one was hurt. 2, Fed prison sentences have no glory or glamour if guns don't go bang bang. First, way harder to radicalize other people afterwards. Yes, that's a big one. You can't make martyrs out of a people who never succeeded in their terror plot. If they were caught beforehand, they still go to jail, the group still looks terrible, but there's no martyrdom. Whereas if they actually do it, there's that martyr element, you know? All right, let's not waste any time, people. Let's just fucking do it, bro. Let's just roll our shoulders and do it. Oof. Oh, baby. Man, it's really coming down outside. Ugh. I've been getting better at managing my headaches, but it still feels a little weird, you know? All right, people. Are you ready for it? I'm about to show you a short clip of a normal man, okay? A normal man, not even a conservative, you know, not a crazy Nazi or whatever, just a normal guy, a disaffected liberal whose concerns with the Democratic Party have led him to temporarily align more with conservative media, but is otherwise a well-rationed individual. Let me get his perspective on life itself.
If Joe Biden wins, they'll take over all our cultural institutions, they'll put psychotic and insane definitions in our dictionary, and they will take over, and regular Americans will say, please, for the love of God, just leave me alone. And they never will. They'll never stop coming. They will take your job away. They will come for your parents. You will do something wrong, they'll fire your mom. They'll come to your house with fireworks and guns, and Americans will still just say, please, just leave me alone. And that's how it is. Even in the Revolutionary War, most people, the largest majority of people, were non-initiated. There was a small faction saying no revolution. There was a larger faction saying revolution. And the bulk said, please just leave me alone. So long as we've been dealing with the psychotic cancel culture. Well, where are you to stand up at your job and tell your boss to shut up when he says, I'm going to put out this bland brand message that panders to these woke lunatics? Where are you to say, if you do that, I quit? They say, fine, quit. Okay, I will. And I'll go start my own company. Nowhere to be found. You're completely right. But at least I quit my job when I worked for Disney and they said, lie to the public. I said, fuck you.
I'm going to lie to the public on my own. Sorry.
And I told them, cut my contract off. And they said, no. Welcome to the golden handcuffs, Tim. You got 1 more year under lock and key. And then I said, okay, well, I'm not going to do what you want. And then finally it came to August and I said, bye-bye, I'm going to go do my own thing. And guess what? It worked. So where the fuck is everybody?
Okay. So, did we all appreciate this incredibly sane monologue from a not completely fucking unhinged man? If this is grifting, it's very passionate grifting. This isn't normal grifting. There's a greater degree of unhinged, poorly adjusted passion here. So the first thing that I'd like to say is, I guess while analyzing this segment here, is that, and you know this, by the way, if you watch any Tim Pool, is that all he ever talks about is cancel culture. And then he leads this into civil war. That's like the entire thrust. He doesn't talk about policy. Tim Pool doesn't talk about policy. He talks about the woke left coming after you and starting a civil war. That's it. That's the whole. He has 3 channels, and that's every episode he does. It's like Mad Libs. You switch out the nouns. Now, remember how in the past I've made jokes about how conservatives are all unhinged Alex Jones wannabes? You know? Like, they're all doing their best Alex Jones impressions. Like, if you let transgender women into the women's bathroom, that is the beginning of the end of the white man. They are going to come for you. They are going to come for me. They are going to come for your children. They are going to fuck your children. They are going to fuck your mom. Your mom is going to like being fucked by them. They are going to fuck your mom, and she's going to look at you and say, you're not my son because I am so into getting fucked by Antifa. Like, that's every conservative. If my face is red, you have to understand that took a lot of power and force on my part. There we go. It was worth it for the bit. You have to understand. Now, apart from my incredible delivery there, was there really that much of a difference between what I just did and what Tim Pool just did? Like, really? I mean, I adopted a different affectation, but was there any real difference? Not really. It's the same. He's a fucking lunatic. I don't know if it's sincere or not. I don't care if it's sincere or not. Tim Pool is the largest online political figure. Between his channels, 110 million views per month. 110. That's higher than Steven Crowder and The Blaze combined. He is massive. And all of his content, I've watched Tim Pool, you know, on my own. All of it is really laughably stupid. It's not like he hasn't hit like a golden egg here through intellect. A lot of it is just he fearmongers like crazy. And because conservatives tend to not be that bright, he gets to pull off this disaffected liberal thing when all of his political beliefs are conservative. And he lies about everything. But, so apart from the fact that he is, again, I have to be clear here, he's fucking deranged. Oh, hold on, I have the screen stretched. Transform. Stretch the screen. There you go. Apart from the fact that he is fucking deranged, you know. Screen stretched. I thought it might be nice to actually go over the arguments that he's attempting to make here, you know? I thought that might be fun. Let's give it a shot.
If Joe Biden wins, they'll take over all our cultural institutions.
Who is they? Which cultural institutions? Which cultural institutions are affected by the presidency? See, that's the thing. The president doesn't control our culture. He controls the executive branch of our government. So even if Biden lost, those cultural institutions would still be capable of being, I don't know, taken over by progressive people? Whatever he's signaling here. It's interesting, though. Yeah, what does he mean by cultural institution? This does just kind of sound like JQing.
They'll put psychotic and insane definitions in our dictionary.
By psychotic and insane definitions, they literally just mean, I'm pretty sure, pronouns. I'm pretty sure that's all they mean. Like, what else could he be referring to? They'll do crazy things like making they, them a singular gender-neutral pronoun, like it has been for 500 years and used in Shakespeare. Yeah. I don't know what else he could be referring to here. crazy terms. They'll put the term cisgender into the dictionary, even though it's already there, and it's a scientific term that's been used for a very long time. You know, yeah, I don't know what he's referring to, but notice the fear in his voice. Like, this is what conservatives get scared over. When lefties fearmonger, and I've fearmongered on my channel before. I've talked to you guys about fears. My fears are legitimate. I'm saying your rights will be taken away. You will be shot at protests, and your murderer will be legally protected. We will be sent to war. Like, these are real things with real outcomes that actually affect people's lives. I'm okay with being fearful of that. I'm okay with the people who I watch being fearful of that. I think that's totally fine. He is fearmongering over definitions in dictionaries.
And they will take over, and regular Americans will say, please, for the love of God, just leave me alone.
This regular American mantra is interesting, considering there are more Democrats than Republicans, and Biden is winning the popular vote by a 2-digit lead right now. What does he mean by regular American? I'll tell you what he means. He means conservative white American. Let's get rid of the bullshit here. Let's get rid of the bullshit euphemism. He means conservative white American. It's the silent majority. It's the same bullshit that right-leaning people, fascist people, have always used as a justification for their horrible policies. That there's some invisible group of people that really, really, really likes them super duper much. Dude, I wish it was the silent majority. Shut the fuck up. Mediocre, fearful, insecure white people who live in suburbs are the loudest fucking group in this country, okay? I hear your asses any fucking time. Anytime any political issues are discussed in the broader political discourse. You are the loudest motherfuckers. You are so loud. You are not the silent majority. You are the screaming minority. There are more Dems than Republicans. There are more progressives than reactionaries. There are more left-leaning people than right-leaning people. All polling data indicates this. You're the minority, bro. You're not the majority anymore. You go back 50, 60, 70 years, sure, maybe you were the majority when it came to accepting gay marriage or miscegenation or interracial marriage or whatever. We don't live in those times anymore. Americans are waking up to the fact that your arguments have always been fear-based drivel. You're not, and never have been, the silent majority.
And they never will. They'll never stop coming. They will take your job away. They will...
What do you mean, take your job away? If they're, by the way, you know who's actually had their job taken away from them? Tens of millions of Americans due to poor handling of COVID-19. This motherfucker is fear-mongering because once every month there's some highly publicized case that could arguably be considered cancel culture, and that's what this guy's fear-mongering over. Dude, in America, you're more likely to be struck by fucking lightning than to lose your job because of your political opinions, okay? Are you fucking kidding me? This shit happens once in a blue moon, and every time it does, everyone takes to Twitter to scream about it. Unless you're like screaming the N-word at the people in your fucking McDonald's job, sure, fine, maybe you'll get fired for that, but okay. But when it comes to like real cancel culture issues, hey, remember when the president of the United States urged the NFL to fire Kaepernick because Kaepernick did a peaceful protest? Remember that? Remember when the president of the United States said he wanted to open up libel laws so it would be easier to sue or cancel journalists who said things he didn't like? Remember that? See, that's the big difference. When you talk about cancel culture, you're talking about people on Twitter. When I talk about cancel culture, to the extent that it does exist, I'm talking about the fucking president of the United States. I'm talking about slap lawsuits. You heard about that? You guys seen that John Oliver episode last week tonight? Slap suits, where you silence people by throwing fraudulent lawsuits at them that cost thousands to defend against. That's a real systemic issue that, by the way, hurts journalists' abilities to actually understand systemic issues and report on them to the public. That's a real problem right there. Do you see people like Tim Pool talking about that? No! Because the people most likely to throw out slap suits are billionaire fucking oil mongerers. Because he doesn't actually care. He doesn't actually care. But you know what he does care about? He cares about these mythical once every month, one American gets fired because somebody got too sensitive on Twitter or something. Yeah.
Come for your parents. You will do something wrong, they'll fire your mom.
No. Can anyone think of a single time this has happened? Remember I joked when I said they'd come and fuck your mom? Like, this is what he actually says to his tens of millions of followers. They'll fire your mom? What?
They'll come to your house with fireworks and guns, and Americans will still just say,
whose house is the only people that have had people show up to their houses with guns are people who cops do no-knock warrants on. What are you talking about? Do you mean like protesters outside like Mitch McConnell's house or whatever? Who's bringing fireworks and guns? What are you talking about? The people who actually have to worry about people coming to their house with guns are people who are under threat of police violence. What the fuck are we talking about here? This is the difference, dude. This is why Tim Pool is fucking scum. He's fear-mongering. He's riling up his audience over nothing. Nothing. This is nothing. These are fake issues. The issues I talk about, systemic discrimination, wages, jobs, war, these affect real humans, millions of humans in their real lives. People don't get affected by this because it doesn't happen. These are diversions. These are fake issues that people like Tim Pool dredge up to make you complacent, to make you forget the real problems in this country. So you can be a disaffected independent and watch Tim Pool and think, oh yeah, I'm getting fucked right now, not because our country is weathering a plague like dog shit and everyone's losing their jobs because our president has implemented no national plan months after the fucking pandemic started. No, I'm getting fucked over right now because somewhere on the other side of the country, there's a 14-year-old girl who's tweeting that somebody needs to do something about all the white characters in the newest Star Wars film. Something that doesn't affect you at all. But you buy it. You buy it. You get riled up. You get angry. And you watch this guy by the millions.
Please, just leave me alone. And that's how it is. Even in the Revolutionary War, most people, the largest majority of people, were non-initiated. There was a small faction saying no revolution. There was a larger faction saying revolution. And the bulk said, please just leave me alone.
So, I don't know if he's suggesting that he would be a loyalist. I have no idea what this means. So he's saying that we shouldn't have done a revolution in America because, first of all, that's wrong historically. That's not the case. The default position politically in the Americas prior to the revolution would have changed massively depending on region and time. And it's not like the entire 13 colonies erupted into fighting, you know. The states and their relationship with George Washington from mustering for, like, this is a very complicated subject, but I think he's saying he would have been on the side of George. I think that's what he's saying.
So long as we've been dealing with the psychotic cancel culture. Well, where are you?
Again, psychotic cancel culture. This is what gets them worked up. 200,000 dead? That's not that much. Shut up, snowflake. You know, ongoing wars in the Middle East? That's not that much. Shut up, snowflake. More drones, more drone bombings done than even the Obama administration, if you can believe it. Whatever. Shut up, snowflake. You know, oh, cancel culture. Oh my God. America can't take this anymore. We're on the cusp of a civil war.
For you to stand up at your job and tell your boss to shut up when he says, I'm going to put out this this bland brand message that panders to these woke lunatics.
So this is just a definitional thing. If a business is putting out a brand message that appeals to a group of people, that group of people isn't radical. You think corporations put out ads for a radical group? Corporations put out ads for the majority. Obviously, they're trying to make money. That's their only job. They aren't making ads that are pro-Antifa. Can you find me a single ad from any major company in America that is saying pro-Antifa, burn down cop cars? Can you find a single one? Now, I can find plenty of ads that are generally in favor of protest, because the majority of the population supports Black Lives Matter. I can find those in favor of trans people, because depending on what market they're trying to appeal to, a large portion of the population supports trans people. You can break this down however you want. If a corporation is putting out a message, it's not being done to radicals. Tim Pool might be talking about that one soda commercial by one of the Kardashian sisters. In fact, he made a video about that. Oh yeah, that far left ad where the protesters and the cops started getting along because somebody handed a Pepsi over. Oh yeah, dude, that one was... George Soros signed off on that with the one where the cops and the protesters got along and didn't resolve anything. Oh yeah, baby. Yeah, that was that Lenin himself could have written that one. Oh yeah, some guy 545 asks, how is a message both bland and radical at the same time? That's an interesting one.
Where are you to say, if you do that, I quit?
You can
They
do
say,
that.
fine, quit. Okay, I will. And I'll go start my own company. Nowhere to be found. You're completely right.
Yeah, no shit. People aren't leaving their fucking corporate jobs because they don't like the woke advertisements. Do you recognize what's happening right here? God, he looks terrifying here. My man Tim Pool over here is simultaneously saying that there are a bunch of woke lunatics running everything, but are also bemoaning the fact that nobody seems to want to go against the woke lunatic narrative. You understand the contradiction here? These crazy lunatics are getting pandered to by massive corporations, and nobody's doing anything about... Well, that kind of means it's not really a super radical perspective, you know?
Right. But at least I quit my job. When I worked for Disney and they said, lie to the public, I said, fuck you.
First of all, Disney lies to the public all the time. No shit, it's Disney. Nobody likes Disney. But what lie are you talking about? Also, like, yeah, so brave. What is he talking about here? He didn't like his corporate environment, so he left, but then there was a contract that he couldnn't break. This is how it works.
And I told him, cut my contract off. And they said no.
Yeah, no shit. Why the fuck would they ever do... Wait, what? Yeah, cut my Why would they do that? You signed the contract. Just... So, Disney... This isn't even a Disney thing. This is just like, this is how contracts work. Yeah, you're beholden to them or you face consequences for it. I don't know what his job was at Disney. I have no idea, but that's how contracts work. Otherwise, there wouldn't be a point to them.
Welcome to the golden handcuffs, Tim. You got one more year under lock and key. And then I said, okay, well, I'm not going to do what you want. And then finally it came to August and I said, bye-bye, I'm going to go do my own thing. And guess what? It worked. So where the fuck is everybody?
Dude, he sounds like really angry about it too. Like, holy shit, where the fuck is everyone on? Dude, Tim, in the real world, nobody's freaking out over this, Tim. These are fake problems that you're trying to rope other people into. This isn't a real problem. People don't want to leave their well-paying corporate jobs because they have a problem with BLM or something. What radical beliefs are you even talking about? Like, what trans people, BLM? What are we talking about here? Just another white boy who lives in the suburbia and is mad. Again, I don't know how sincere Tim Pool's mad is. I genuinely don't know. But like, we have to recognize, let's put a bow on this, okay? This is lunatic shit, dude. This is crazy bonkers shit. And this gets pushed to a lot of people. And a lot of people, because they don't critically think about what they're looking at here, are just going to nod their heads and go like, yeah, dude, cancel culture is crazy. But I implore you, if you're watching this and you don't agree with me, that's fine. I'm a socialist, okay? You don't have to agree with me. But at least recognize that what we just watched from Tim Pool, I didn't use socialist logic to criticize what he said, just very, very basic reasoning. He's crazy. And he's getting you to obsess over problems that don't really affect either anyone or that many people. He's getting you to obsess over shit that's not really that big of a deal. He's turning you into a snowflake. If you want to be upset about things, be upset about things that are really affecting the world. It's okay to get upset about war. It's okay to get upset about voter disenfranchisement. It's okay to get upset about dishonesty in the media. It's fine to get upset about those things, as long as your upsetness is tempered by factual evidence. Because I know Tim Pool has talked about dishonesty in the media quite a bit, and I have to say, having watched some of those videos, I think he's equally crazy in his coverage of some of those issues. But man, at least when it comes to this cancel culture stuff, okay, you gotta recognize you are being primed to chase go on a wild goose chase. It's not it, okay? And if there are any Tim Pool fans who disagree with me or whatever, I encourage you. You can email me or you can come into my community to tell me how shit I am or whatever. Just, it actually makes me sad that the most popular online content creator for politics, is giving people messaging this bad, this irresponsible, this crazy. Yeah. I don't know. Okay, I think that was actually like an A+. I think that was an A+ segment. I think I nailed that segment right there. I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah, I'm good with that. Please upload. Well, yeah, of course. The only time I don't upload a segment is if I look over it in the video preview and it looks tedious to me, you know? Like sometimes you look over something that you've done, you're like, ugh, I made this. That's when I don't upload. What should I title the segment? I never know how to title stuff. Maybe like a message to Tim Pool fans. Tim Pool is lying to you. Tim Pool is fucking crazy. It's got to be something like punchy, you know? Vosh should learn the art of the jump cut. No. I do everything live. I do everything live. I don't want to do any jump cuts, any editing, anything like that. So you never upload any of your spicier takes? Yeah, you think there might be a reason for that? Wait, what is this? Might be a Tim Fool fan in chat. If he said it and Vosh denies it, then Vosh the liar and not Tim Pool. Has Vosh taken his word back yet? What are we talking about here? This was said to Keith D. Trump said it once or twice, but more often he dances around the question to avoid saying it. Wait, what are we talking about? And this was responded to SDF BASDF. Oh, I see. Yeah, this is a Tim Pool fan. SDF BASDF. Yeah, no, burning down completely innocent people's businesses because they don't bow down to your crazy extreme left movement is definitely just the good sort of violence. Hey, SDF, would you like to come on stream? We can have a quick conversation before I end the day. Not a big deal, but you definitely should, or I will burn down your house in real life. In Minecraft, obviously, I'm joking. Yeah, but you should come on. Maybe we could resolve our disagreements, you know? You still in chat? I'll look at YouTube chat for a minute. We'll see. We'll peep. Fascism, socialism, book recommendations for a freshly inoculated comrade. Hey there. If you want book recommendations, you want to be looking at the channel Radical Reviewer. Thank you, comrade. That's just not the thing that I tend to do myself. I'm not seeing a response. One of the issues with YouTube's buffering system is that sometimes people will be watching, but they won't be caught up. So when I call them out, wait, hold on. Nope, all I want is for you to take back your lies. What the fuck else do you want to debate about? Your dishonest representation of Black Lives Matter, of course. But wait, what lies? I didn't see any lies, SDF. Can you tell me what lies I told? And I'll respond to you. You said Trump never denounced white supremacy? No. I haven't said Trump never denounces white supremacy. I'm saying he lies when he doesn't. When he does do it, yeah. No, he's denounced it, but like that's what matters is he doesn't denounce it when it counts, you know. He was pressured into denouncing the neo-Nazis at Charlottesville after days of media pressure, and he only denounced white supremacy after the debate. It's not that he has never done it. It's that whenever he does it, it's clearly him being bullied into it because he knows it looks bad for polling for him not to. You know? Yeah. That's the issue. But yeah, he said it, but like, like I've heard Nazis say they disavow Nazism. Like, okay, it doesn't mean that much. What matters is how do you actually practically address these issues? And Trump has only ever signaled positive, you know, attention to far right groups. I'm pretty sure you said he never said it. Well, if that's the case, SDF, then I did misspeak, but I know for a fact I've acknowledged that he said it at points in the past, and that it's just a matter of how he's done it that matters. Anyway, let me get to the donations, and then we're going to end the stream. This is a Sunday stream. This is a quickie stream, you know, not a big boy stream, okay? Daniel Lannister with the $5. Can you explain the pool thing he was going on about? Pool thing? P-U-L-E? What are you talking about? Can you explain the abolition of the commodity form? Yeah, Austin, it just means no longer making things to sell them. Essentially, you make them to serve a public need, but not to sell them. Ashtray, thank you for the $5. Skunksy with the $5. If you were, Pepe were a furry, excluding the horse dick joke, what animal would you choose for your fursona? I don't know, because I'm not a furry. I don't have a fursona. I've had a fursona drawn of me by an ex-girlfriend that is pretty compelling. If I can find it, hold on. It's like buried 16 folders deep, but it's a pretty cute drawing. Here, this will be the last cutesy thing you see. Hold on. Art. Give me a sec. Here we go. Well, this is not a relationship I necessarily look on fondly. I must acknowledge that this is indeed a cute fucking drawing, and that does look like me. And I looked... this is back when I had shorter hair, so as you can see, I have... you can probably tell which one is me. I should clarify, I'm the one that looks like me, and not the one that doesn't look like me. Yeah, I'm the blushing one, sure. Okay. Xander Hall, the $5. Thank you. Death Stranding made me try Monster Energy. Now I'm addicted and have to shit like 8 times a day from drinking too much caffeine, and it's so painful. You are very impressionable, Xander Hall. That's all it took, really? The product placement? Jeremiah Van Elgort with a very kind $10. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed my Alex Jones impressions. Yes, I should have blamed the globalist butt plug microchips, the Clinton Foundation. True. Should have done more. Glad you liked it too, John Rose. Montara with a very kind $10. Hey Vosh, earlier tonight I was planning on having my friends over, but no one showed up. But I just turned on your stream now. I feel much better. It happens to the best of us, comrade. Seriously. It happens to the best of us. I'm sorry, though. That really does suck. We've all had those moments, though, where it feels like our friends let us down a little bit, but I got you, okay? Kalk Woldy with the $5. I had a Twitter debate with Tim Pool's brother, Pim Tool. I can confirm he's just as stupid, if not more stupid, than his beanie brother. Well, they both wear beanies. They look almost identical, but duly noted. Senor Francisco with the incredibly kind $10. Thank you. Yeah, maybe we could experiment more with camera angles. Very, very true. Very true. The Lone Grifter with the $5. Missed most of the convo because a comrade saw me watching the stream on the bus home from work, and then we had a nice conversation. Figured you'd like to hear that. Oh, fuck yeah. Absolutely. So I was like a conversation starter? That's really sweet. I'm happy to hear that. Dango Bangle with the $5. Another heartbreaking news from the nerd community. Ryan Haywood of Rooster Teeth has for years been grooming minors. I know this isn't relative. Wait, hold on. Somebody who worked on the production of Ruby has been grooming minors. Is that true? People who would be people who want to make media derivative of anime, grooming minors, perhaps, maybe. No, I'm being a little mean here. That does suck though, like a lot. I don't know anything. I've never actually seen Ruby. Don't drag down Ruby like that. No. I'm dragging down anime. Hold on. Wait. We all know anime is for pedophiles. Come on. It's true. Oh, he wasn't with the Ruby element? Oh, okay. Well, never mind. My segue doesn't make sense at all then. Sake Tanuki with the $10. Dimfool wears the beanie inside to cover the tin foil. Maybe. Whale Crust, the tier 1 sub. Thank you. Jeremiah Van Elgert with a very kind $5. Tim Pool is just Alex Jones in a centrist skin. Very, very true. The Nico Sam with the $2. Can you try Travis Scott Burger on stream? No, comrade. I don't like McDonald's. And with the additional $2, hello Vosh, Peepo Hug. Can we get a Peepo Hug in chat? Trans rights? You heard the man or woman. I don't care. Is fascism gay? No, it's tragically straight. Doggo, thank you for the $5. 747 with a gifted tier 1 sub. Thank you. Honest B with the $5. I wish you would have debated me, the peaceful progressive, but it's understandable as I'm a very difficult person to debate. I'm just trying to stop talk with lefties, but like very rarely do I talk with a lefty and I really feel like I got more from that convo than I would have like otherwise, you know? The only exceptions are when they really do have knowledge that I don't possess, like extensively, or if they're like a big media figure who I'm trying to like move over, or just get to know better, that kind of thing. It's just difficult, you know? I like arguing more. Ryan Haywood was involved with Ruby. He was the professor with the battle axe blunderbuss. Oh, so he even voiced one of the guys. Thoughtfully Donut with $5 for science. Femtruck has a dump truck and Fem Biden has Big Milkies. What does Fem Vosh have? Well, Fem Vosh obviously has a giant cock. Obviously. Roulette Dante is the 777. Thank you very, very much. Bonding over your content gave me the gumption to tell my long-standing crush how I felt. Now we're GFs watching the stream together. Love you, Paige. Aww. I love you too, Paige. But not in that way. Congratulations, you two. Keter Nad Carney with the $5. I came here as an immigrant 4 years ago and leaving next week. The government is making it difficult for legal immigrants to stay too? Question mark, question mark. Yeah, of course. You're probably not white. They fucking hate you. You know, that's how it is. Finley Wright with $5. Can you pick in Mr. Obvious sometime? You mean pick on Mr. Obvious, I assume? Maybe. Isn't Mr. Obvious a dumb fuck? Right? Redzilla 2K with the $5. Thank you very much. Have I heard of a drink called Leninade? Yeah, I have, actually. I've seen it at bodegas. Yeah, he's a Nazi? Yeah, I figured. Wait, didn't I cover a Mr. Obvious video once? He was talking about the Jewish question. He called it the bluish question. Isn't that a thing that happened? Frightful Fawn with the $5. Want you to know that I got Golden League while listening to your video. Your energy gives the strength to keep grinding. Nice. It is that one? Okay, gotcha. Happy to hear that. Shul with a very kind tier 1 sub. What the fuck am I looking at? Dog. With a wig or something? Bleh. Oh no, that's just the dog. Dog's just real poofy. Yeah. Babies. 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 Ooh. Baby friends. Cozy baby. Whoa. I know what's down there. Thank you, Shul. Dreamleaf with the incredibly kind $15. My corgis are the dog forms of Artemy and Pigeon. Is that true? Babies. Yeah, because the gray one even has like little kind of fleshy toned ears. Absolutely, comrade. Beautiful corgi baby friends. Absolutely beautiful. Also, if you're watching this right now and you're not fucking following my Instagram, what are you even doing? What you missing the freshest memes? What's going on here? Look at these pictures of my disgusting cat. Look at this thing. It looks like a ghoul. You're missing it all out. You got to get in there, folks. Got to get in there. Yeah, it looks like a fucking ghoul. Spike's Tribe, thanks to the gifted tier 1 sub. What is this? True. Rip Eduardo, the cat that I sacrificed to get rid of my headache. Very true. Yikes CG with tier 1 sub. Rate this TF2 Christmas item I'm working on since the Halloween update passed. Hey, that's pretty sick, actually. That actually looks really good. You've got a talent for this stuff. I mean, you probably already knew that, but seriously. Nice beam. Chi-Chi with $3. Hey, Vosh, love you very much. Made this for a knitting competition. What do you think? I think they look delicious and are therefore confusing to my lizard brain. Seriously, these look great. And they're really pretty. You could sell these. Yeah, for sure. All right, let's run it through, people. Ricky Hamrick with the $5. Love you, Vosh. What are your thoughts on landlords? Landlords are not individually bad people, but as a system, I think the practice of landlording is pretty dumb. Fracky. Frackle? With the $10. Respect for what you do, Vosh. Would enjoy talking real nuts and bolts policy stuff with you. Sometimes lefties often identify problems, but don't spend enough time identifying real solutions. Well, I certainly don't disagree with you on that point. I can't promise a convo, but if you email me, I can tell you down a nicer way. At the moment, I'm very, very dedicated to election coverage, but I appreciate it, comrade. Thank you. The Plan B pill with a very kind $5. What's your take on the Denver shooting and right wingers trying to paint the shooter as Antifa because of his Space Invaders tattoo? P.S. Love your godly beard. Oh yeah, I completely forgot about that. I'll cover that tomorrow. We'll cover that tomorrow, okay? Quentonic with the incredibly kind $20. Can you watch my video titled How Conservatives See BLM? Me and my fiance made the meme after rewatching Dragon Ball and thought it was relevant. No, I'm afraid I cannot go looking for a YouTube video at this moment. But if you email it to me, I can take a look at it on my own time. Hellion Fire with the $5. Haven't finished the debate, but it really seems like you let Cole make you back off class reductionism simply because you upset his daddy Burgess. I don't think so. He didn't say class reductionism doesn't exist. What he said is that arguments about class reductionism aren't really relevant to on-the-ground organizing, which is true. I think that class reductionism is a real problem, but I don't think I backed off anything there. It was really weird how there were people in chat telling me to apologize in my discussion with Cole. I don't know what the fuck you people were asking me to apologize about. I'm not entirely sure what that was over, but I don't think I said anything rude at all. Nico Sam with the $2. I lolled so hard, dude. Oh my god. Aren't they supposed to be ignoring
Doing their
your
best Alex
chats
Jones
now?
impressions like, if you let transgender women into the women's restroom, that is the beginning of the end of the white man. They are going to come for you. They are going to come for me. They are going to come for your children. They are going to fuck your children. They are going to fuck your mom. Your mom is going to like being fucked by them. They are going to fuck your mom, and she's going to look at you and say, you're not my son because I am so into getting fucked by Antifa. Like, that's...
I'm good at that. I should do that more often, even though it hurts me physically. Maybe Otis B. Duly noted. Well, email me either way, and thank you. Simon with a very kind $10. Thank you very much. Dango Bango with the $5. Update on Ryan Haywood. He didn't just engage with grooming minors. He also stealthed, which is to remove protection without the partner knowing. Yeah, when you take the condom off and they don't know. Nice! Sounds like a great dude, to be honest. Hellion Fire with the $5. The argument that class reductionism is only talked about online isn't an argument. The vast majority of political discourse is had online. Like, what the fuck? Well, yeah, sure. But my goal here wasn't to, like, class reductionism pill Cole or anything. I think I made my case just fine. I didn't expect one of the subjects of the podcast to literally be a clip of mine. I wasn't warned. Hellion Fire. Also, speaking of which, where the fuck is the Ben Burgess debate, fam? I didn't upload it because it was boring as shit. It's really allowing Burgie Boy to control the narrative. I'm not worried about that. It was, for one, it's the same video, whether he posts it or me. And second of all, my platform is enormous compared to Ben Burgess's. I'm just not that concerned. If people want to watch it, they can watch it there. I just didn't feel it was a productive conversation. Thank you again, Otis B. The Nico Sam with a very kind $2. No problem, comrade. Stop donating! Holy shit! Stop! Synthos, the $5. You should look at my dog. He's kind of stupid, but I love him to death. Buh. Okay, yeah, he's pretty darn stupid. Thank you, comrade. We love him, though. Hawkstorm with the $5. I love your videos. Here are my cat stickers on Kickstarter. Oh, awesome. Oh, that's really cute. Well, just looking at them isn't going to do much of a sell. I'll give the link to you guys. Yeah. Kickstartering people's shit is always good. Text. Do you want to debate a Tim Pool supporter or a stream done? Just when I thought I was done, you pulled me back in. Bring them to me. Give me banana. I assume that wasn't a hypothetical and you actually do have a Tim Pool supporter lined up, because it'd be really disappointing if it was like, their username is Flash? Alright, I'll look at it in a sec. Let me blow my nose, then we'll... Go team. Alright, what am I looking at here? Baked Alaska harassing workers? Well, yeah, Baked Alaska's a Nazi. It's not surprising that they would be dumb. Okay, what is this? What am I looking for here? Is there anyone in my voice chat? No. Is there anyone in Verified Collins chat? No. Okay, where is this person? Flash? Okay, but... I'm gonna friend request them? Okay, sure. The things we do for love, you know? DM me. They're in the server. Well, I already sent a friend request. What do you mean DM me? You have my DMs. We're friends on Discord. You're my partner. Okay. The thing you gotta do to suffer. Thanks, MC Palco. I appreciate that. Oh, DM them. They're in this. Oh, my God. The things we do for content. Elijah, you got a friend request. Answer, you dumb fuck. I can tell this is going to be disappointing. It's actually, there's a mathematical formula that you can use to determine how good content will be, and there's an inverse relationship between how hard you try for it and how good the content actually is. Yeah, here we go. What's up? Howdy, howdy. 1 second. I've got multiple seconds. No worries. Chat, you guys are missing out on the sickest memes right now. It's crazy. It's saying no route. I don't know why. I'm not entirely sure what that means, Elijah. Hello?
Hello, how are you doing, sir?
There you go. We got you.
English is not my first language, so if I have the translation issues, let me know.
Yeah, nothing to worry about. Are you a Tim Pool fan?
Yes, I think he's not bad. I don't like him that much, but I think that he makes a lot of good points about the decisiveness in American society.
Gotcha.
The way I see it is, I do agree. I don't really think that he's fear-mongering when we talk about the Second American Civil War. I haven't lived here for very long, but all I know is this huge decisiveness inside America. Like, I talk to one person, I see they say, oh, Trump good, whatever. Like, this reminds me of where I'm from, the city I come. Is like people are just having the very extreme viewpoints. I think that it's very likely that it will be something like the all-out war, something like that.
Yeah, maybe. I do have I do know people who are from Syria though. I can tell that your accent is a put upon. Are you a fan of mine?
A little bit, but not really. I think you can be a little bit dishonest, being honest.
Well then why with the accent?
Because number one, I think it's really, I thought it would be really interesting to see how you would react to that character I make sometimes online. Because when I put it against, I like going on Discord and just like joining voice calls and just like playing around with people with like radical viewpoints. Thing is I didn't think it would work on you, but I just wanted to see how it would go.
Oh,
I also have a character. What are you doing, sir? It's the same accent, obviously. But the Palestinians, I have the issue with them. I don't really think that it is the biggest stupidity of the Israeli politics that the Palestinians want peace. So I have this like radical Jewish character. It's really nice.
Yeah, you should contact Sacha Baron Cohen. Maybe you guys can get together and work on a project, for Borat 3. So
okay, could we have a conversation about Israel, because that's something I actually really do want.
Sure. Wait, you said that you said you think I'm dishonest on some issues. Does that relate to the Israel thing?
Not at all, actually. I think there was that one case where you were a bit emotional and you said a couple disgusting things, which, as an Israeli, as a liberal Israeli, that's probably a better way to put it, I think it was a bit emotional, but we all get emotional sometimes, and that's okay.
Now, to be fair, I've talked about the destruction of America so many times, nobody bats an eye. You do it once with Israel, and people lose their minds. You seen the movie Batman 2: The Joker? He said it in that movie. Everyone loses their minds.
Yeah. I mean, okay, about Israel, I feel like a lot of times online leftists sort of forget that a lot of Israelis didn't really necessarily choose to have the creation of Israel happen. Like a lot of we obviously we grew up here. If I had a choice right now to say, you know what, Israel was to be created, instead of that, all Jews would have went to the United States, I would probably have picked it, because you know what, like with the historical context of the time, that probably would have happened. But a lot of times when people talk about, let's say, stopping cutting foreign aid to Israel, like that at the moment makes up like I think it's exactly 1% of the Israeli economy. Like stopping that at least like right away would cause an immediate economic collapse in Israel. A lot of Israelis, like me, for example, support something called the Federation Solution, which is something that's not very talked about often in the United States. I'm actually very good friends with the founder of the Federation. It's basically an idea to have a binational state in both Israel and Palestine. And it's actually somewhat, I wouldn't say very, but somewhat discussed in Israel. And I'm just interested in what your opinion of that would be.
The Federation Plan presents a new approach to the Jewish Arab-Palestinian conflict. The plan calls for a transformation of Israel's system of governance into a federal governance, such as found in a bunch of other countries. This will be a progressive regional system whereby the state of Israel is divided into cantons, which enjoy a great deal of independence in managing their affairs. Yeah, I think I've talked about this. Like it's a system by which you could conceivably have one state where the relative degree of local autonomy would allow for Palestinians, the West Bank, to not live in open-air concentration camps, and still have some general degree of influence over the federal government. I think it's probably good. Yeah, unfortunately, over here in America, discourse on Israel has nothing to do with Jewish people and everything to do with Christian evangelicals. So the actual solutions to this never actually get discussed,
Yeah. Another thing I would want to talk to you about is just generally, what do you see? What do you think about BDS?
BDSM?
No, boycott.
Yeah, no, I know.
I'm interested in your opinion of that, but not right now.
No, well,
maybe you can talk about that later.
I think Israel's a pretty terrible country for the most part. I mean, it's a colonial settler state. It's basically like the only reason Israel exists right now is because America uses it as a military base, and that disposition, I think, is reflected in the country's attitude towards its neighbors. And frankly, it just seems like putting Israel there in the middle of a bunch of Arab countries with all the conflict that's gone on, it just doesn't seem like a great idea. I don't have a problem with boycotting Israel. Also, Israel, normally when people say this, they're dog whistling, but I'll say it up front. What AIPAC and other Israeli organizations do in America, the influence they have, I think is a really, really toxic influence. And I'm comfortable saying that because I don't think Israel and Jews are the same thing at all. I think that Israel is a state. There are a lot of problems with it. I'm okay with protesting it, yeah.
About BDS, I would say it's an entirely inefficient way of boycotting Israel, because let's use the example of South Africa, right? South Africa was a country that had on medium very low quality exports, while most Israeli exports are high tech in nature. So in general, like boycotting Israeli is just very inefficient. A second point I'd make about that is that in general, they're not boycotting the governments in that case. They're just boycotting these boycotts in general. Affect, let's say, Israeli. Okay, let's say let's say you're boycotting Israeli wines, which is a very common thing to boycott. It mostly just affects poor Israeli farmers. And also, on the second point of putting Israel there, I would say that every single Middle Eastern ethnicity, at least at the moment, is also a product of European colonialism on the Middle East. Like the concept of Assyrian didn't exist until the French decided it to.
Yeah, so we should stop it. That's the thing. Israel's happening like now, you know? Like all the countries in that area are definitely shaped by European imperialism, but Israel is like, we're like currently doing it, you know? It could well be that BDS isn't a good way of protesting Israel. I'm not that familiar with the outcomes of the particular types of protests they do, but I support the sentiment. I'm totally okay with the sentiment. So if we were to talk about better ways to undermine your home country, then sure. But that would be, I think, a different discussion, you know, tonally.
Yeah, in general, I just think that people also, the idea that Israelis are somehow white is also a very, very nuanced topic that I would say most genetic research on the topic supports that Israelis are Middle Eastern, like even Ashkenazi Jews, at the very least more than 50% of their genes originates to the Middle East, but that's based off like genetic research, which is
true. But genetics and race have a tenuous relationship. The term Aryan, you know, originally was of Iranian people, like the whitest white group that Hitler went out fucking repping. Was its origins included? Some groups in the Middle East. It's really a perception thing. I know some people who are Israeli in America who look white, so I call them white, whatever. And because as far as I'm concerned, it's just a matter of how you're treated. But of course, I would imagine, because I've never been to Israel, I would imagine most of the people in Israel don't look white in the way most Americans would consider white to look white.
Like, let's say, just in the case of my family, I have my twin brother has blonde hair. I've been called the sand N-word. Like, I'm like very Arab passing. Like, genetics just don't work in that way. You know what I mean? Like the concept of white is a very artificial concept. And even in that, most Israelis wouldn't fit that, like, value or whatever the right
sure,
word
but
is for
light-skinned
it.
Israelis are generally treated better than dark-skinned Israelis. I can't tell you how much I've read on the not real apartheid, but sort of a soft social discrimination experienced by darker complexion Jews in Israel. Again, like these are subjects I would need to really look into to be comfortable debating on them. Because I don't, I try to look very hard into stuff before I actually confidently make arguments. But I know the colorism in Israel, I know this is a thing. I would need to look more into it if I were to make like strong arguments. You know what I mean?
Yeah. One thing I would want to say is that in general, there is a pretty large income discrepancy between Israelis that are Ashkenazi in origin and Israelis that are Mizrahi in origin, meaning they're from the Middle East. But I would say it's similar to sort of how wealth discrepancies happen. I need a good example for this because
Jews have their own JQ. It's like the Jewish people in Israel, they're like, you know who really controls things, and the Ashkenazi Jews have their own JQ for like an even higher tier, and like it always goes up and up.
Yeah, so like these are the three income brackets: Ashkenazi Jews, Mizrahi Jews, then Palestinians. But one thing I want to bring up is it's not necessarily in that case due to discrimination. It's just due to the fact that Ashkenazi Jews are generally more educated and like their families have been in Israel for a longer period of time, because most Mizrahi Jews have came like within like the past 30, 40 years, because Jews like me got kicked out of the Middle East by Nasser and a bunch of Arabs. Sigh.
Yeah, sorry about that.
My mom speaks Arabic. My entire family speaks Arabic, but me, which it's kind of like really sad, because if I went back to Egypt right now, like just there would be some random Egyptian living into my house, which honestly makes me feel a bit more sympathetic for Palestinians, I guess. But in general, it's just like people forget what caused Israelis to be so nationalistic in the first place. I guess the Holocaust and getting kicked out of a bunch of random Arab countries makes you just really hate Arabs.
Well, yeah, I mean, look, the behavior of the Israeli people as a political demographic is pretty easily explainable by their history. But you can go around, as much as you want there. You could say like, why are the Dutch descendant whites in South Africa so racist? Well, because they see a lot of poor black people, so they think, oh, black people suck. It's like it can be explained, but there's a big difference between explaining and justifying something. And I think that for the most part, Israel engages in pretty abhorrent crimes against their neighbors. And now I again, Israel is not exactly like my forte when it comes to political discussions. I have to ask you earlier. First of all, are you actually a Tim Pool fan, or was that?
No, I'm not. I watched one of his videos one time. I think I was like 2 days of no sleep, and even then I was like, this sounds horrible. Like my 2 days sleep deprived mind thought it was incredibly stupid.
He's just such a fear monger. Oh yeah, for sure. You do think I've been dishonest in the past, though?
Yeah, I think kind of. It's less that you've been dishonest and more that you're just so good at using rhetoric in an efficient way that it's very hard to listen to you, even if you made like an incredibly stupid argument, which I would say once or twice you have been, but I can't exactly place when because I don't remember every single thought I've had.
I've only said smart, true things. I don't know what you're talking about. As the slippery debate tactics, would you say I am the Ben Shapiro of the left, perhaps?
No, not at all. I would say if Ben Shapiro had a sociology degree and actually knew what he was talking about on certain issues, then yeah. But in general, it's just that you're so good at rhetoric that it's impossible to sort of listen to you and not sort of agree with what you're saying just because how good a rhetorician you are.
Thanks. I actually really appreciate that. It's my job. I do, for what it's worth, I do try not to bullshit my way into good conclusions. I'll give you an example. Yesterday I did like a 40-minute segment where I covered Trump's balcony speech, which was completely unhinged. And of course, it was hysterical, phenomenal, basically the best content anyone's ever seen. However, I didn't upload it because only after going over the video, I noticed that I had earlier misattributed to Trump a violation of the Hatch Act, which is actually not something which covers the president and vice president. And even though I guess you could look in the chat to clarify that, I felt really bad because I don't fucking want to edit a correction in there. That makes me look dumb as shit. Yeah. I just won't edit it. I just won't upload it. So I try my best to adhere to some sort of internal standard of intellectual and honest rigor, but it's an ongoing process.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, one question, and then I got to read donuts, then I got to dip.
All right. What do you think about Noam Chomsky?
I think he's a cool dude. Dude got me into anarchism. Got nothing but good thoughts about him. If I had to be critical of Noam Chomsky, I would probably say that I feel as though he has a poor understanding of the way left radicalization has developed since the end of the Bush administration. From the beginning of Obama all the way up to today, I feel like he's making arguments to resonate with the left then and not today. But he's also 1,000 years old. So I can't really blame. Well, if I live to be as old as him, I can't possibly expect I'll be as hip with the kids as I am today. Apart from that, though, I mean, dude's a fucking legend. His real work's in linguistics, by the way. I would recommend anyone who is, who wants to go. I would consider Noam Chomsky, probably along Wittgenstein, to be my favorite linguist. He has got some rocking takes on those subjects.
One thing I want to mention that I think a lot of people here would be interested in is there's a space on Quora, if any of you guys use it, called Unity is Strength. It's a place where Palestinians and Israelis have dialogue on issues. It's a really cool space. in general, I just highly recommend it for anyone interested in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict.
Gotcha. All right, Pog. Thank you for coming on, even though you did it under false pretense. You did it under doubly false pretenses.
I don't know what you're talking about. I say,
All right, get out. Goodbye.
Okay, Temple is good, man.
You guys can stay mad. I thought that was pleasant. Okay, let me go over these the donos one last time. He's a Zionist anyway. Don't try to act like this in good faith. Whoa, hold on. He didn't do any crazy justifying Palestinian oppression stuff. He was just asking questions. Don't worry about it, okay? He was a dork. But as a dork, I feel comfortable around these people. Taunts for Days, thank you for the $5. Daniel Guerrero with the $5. You don't have any anime you like? Have you seen any? I watch a fuck ton of anime. And yes, I have opinions on it. Brendan Kieran with $2. Thank you. Pretty Polyglot with a tier 1 sub. Thank you very much. Enjoy your languages. Sarah C. K with the $5. Can I have your sources on the Great Man Fallacy for my film theory essay and Jay Campbell and Young debunking? I don't have sources on the Great Man Fallacy. If you want, you can find arguments against it, but I don't have them like in a source document or anything. You can't prove or disprove Great Man theory. It's just, I don't think it's very explicable. Can someone someday try to convince you Chomsky is a liberal? He's not a liberal. If you've seen that Matt Christman segment, I'm sorry, Matt was wrong. He's not a liberal. He's not. No, base GMT, getting blocked by fascists is good praxis. Otis B, thank you very, very much for the $5. Please don't donate to me a lot if you're hard up on cash, comrade. You can email me. That's a free way of contacting me. Free. John Rose, that guy got off scot-free. If anyone else contacts me claiming to be a Tim Pool fan and is not, I will ban you in real life. Eric, thank you for the $5 and the suggestion. Sake Tanuki with the very kind $10. So, would you call Israeli Jews pushing for the death of Mizrahi Jews and Palestinians Ashke Nazis? Unfortunate names. Nice, comrade. I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can. That's actually funny, but I Ashke not get it. I gotta be careful, you people. Herrick, thank you for the $5 and the suggestion. Ashsoka Bun O with the $10 as an Israeli leftist. Please ask the caller on his thoughts about Netanyahu suppressing protests. I imagine that guy would have not been favorable to it. Sake with the $10. BDS not effective, not to channel Posada's John, but have we tried? Nope! Nice meme, comrade. Shoka Bun Zero with $5. Want to point out, though, that I agree with you 100%. Really want to point out to you in chat that Israelis treat Zionism as something very different than what some think. Yeah, 100%. Jewish Zionism and like American white Christian evangelical Zionism are very different things. Strong Zero with the incredibly kind $10. Could you shout out our anarchist ska punk band Strong Zero? We have new music on Bandcamp. Fuck yeah. Strong Zero, folks. An anarchist ska punk band. That is a lot of adjectives. Go for it. Absolutely. Skang Hunt, thank you for the $5. Very true. The SRA does do safety training. Garbyart with the $3. Thank you. Hey Vosh, me and some friends started actradart.com where people can buy art and choose which charity 100% of their money goes to. Just want to say you inspire me. Thank you, comrade. I really appreciate that. Just to warn you guys, though, if too many of you people ask me for shout-outs through donos in one stream, I'm going to get mad, okay? Hunk, yes, the SRA is pretty pog. Ope Floper with the $5. Can we get a how to navigate the neurotypical world as an autismo segment one day? Unfortunately, I don't know how effective I would be in delivering that information because I don't really struggle that much with that, but maybe. Trey Lewis, I have not read How Propaganda Works. I could give it a look. Lazy Gales with the $5. What are your thoughts on the Batman Who Laughs miniseries? I'm afraid I haven't read that one, comrade. Jackie Loppers, the $5. Spoiled by your rhetoric? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Hey, you know how it is, baby. I've got a big brain. All right, what is this? I'm going to get a headache if I keep reading all these. Oh, God. Shout out to Ego Dirth's mom, Rachel. Sake with the $10. What is
Whoever
this?
you are. I'm a throwback. I'm here. I'm an explorer. I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
Did you just talk?
Do you understand that?
You can hear him.
Nice meme. And then Nico Sam with $2 last doing their best Alex Jones impression. Like,
If you let transgender women into the women's...
We just listen to this. You just put music over it.
Restroom. That is the beginning of the end of the white man. They are going to come for you. They are going to come for me. They are going to come for your children. They are going to fuck your children. They are going to fuck your mom. Your mom is going to like being fucked by them. They are going to fuck your mom, and she's going to look at you and say, "You're not my son," because I am so into getting fucked by Antifa. Like that.
True. It's true. And Freedom Cleaner with the $5, starting my first sociology class in 26. Any specific advice? Yeah, get to be friends with your professor. You can learn a lot of crazy ass shit. A lot of sociology professors used to be fucking anarchists and activists, you know? All right, folks. I love you all very much. You're all beautiful. Beautiful people. Be streaming tomorrow. Beautiful. Did Matt from Chapo block you on Twitter? I don't think so. Anyway, have a good one. I love you. Goodbye forever, but not forever. Tomorrow. Goodbye. Goodbye forever. Goodbye, not forever.